What the? Can I be heard now? Is it working now? Oh, it is working. Okay. We are working now. Good. I don't have to start over, thank God. Thank the maker. Thank the goddamn maker. And also, why is my chat... This is so weird. The setup here on YouTube... Hold on a second, guys. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I'll screen share just so that you guys can see the weirdness that is YouTube right now. Hold on. Yeah, look. If you guys can see, the chat's normally up here, but it's not up here right now. It is all the way down here. You see model kits in the back? Oh, yeah. Those are probably some Lego boxes. Sorry. I apologize for the kerfuffle earlier. Please disregard that. Put on live chat. What? Live chat. Pop. Yeah, that's so weird. Hold on. Maybe if I'm... Yeah, there we go. Minimize the tool. There we go. Now I can see you guys much better now. Much better. Now we're working. I don't know what was causing the problem, but it seems to have resolved itself. For now, anyway. Okay, I'm gonna stop screen share for now. Okay. All right. So everything seems to be working out okay, from what I can tell. So that's a good thing. Yeah, technical difficulties, Dalton. Technical difficulties. Yeah. I'm kind of just checking the audio and whatnot. I don't know if it's using my headset or if it's using this, or if it's using this microphone, or if it's using the one up here on the webcam. Because today I was going to, share some stuff with you guys, some of my JRPG collection and whatnot, talk about JRPGs for a while. I was hoping to have guests, but I don't know if I will have any. That is a mystery to me right now. Because, well, nobody really wanted to talk to me today. I think people are busy. Rabbit was kind of... He's dealing with a lot of yelling. Yes, and thank you, Joan. I just saw your tweet. Thank you. Yes, I know I'm on mute. I realized that. There's something weird going on. I was trying to see if I was doing things correctly, but So sorry about that. But yeah, we're live at least. So, and the mic, we're hearing my voice now anyway. So hi Tevia, hey Dalton, hey Joan. Good to see you guys. I am not one with knowledge of JRPGs. Well, you see, there's the trick, isn't it? It's you have to try and find people who do, and then sometimes you don't know if anybody has any interest in that. But that's okay. Maybe I'll just have someone talk with me just for the lulz. Maybe I'll invite Dalton. I don't know, because I don't know if Nerd Wonder will join or not, because apparently she was at a Ren fair earlier today, and she's having fun. She's only recently on her way back, so I have no idea if she can join or not. Link! Link! Linku! Hold on a second, Dalton. I'll get you in here. Bum, 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 bum. Dun, 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 dun. Now, if only we can find Dalton in this chaos. There he is. I don't have to scroll nearly as far down as I normally do. Not nearly as much. Bum, 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 dun, 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 dun. Okay, the link has been sent. And oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, hold on a second. I'm also gonna give the link to Wonder if she does decide to come in on. If she doesn't, that's fine. You know, I'll paste the link anyway. You know. If she's curious.
Hello.
Hey Dalton, how you doing, man?
Same old, same old.
Same old boring, repetitive life.
Well, I mean, I am, or I was working on my Easter special for tomorrow earlier today, which is fun.
Oh.
I enjoy doing holiday specials. They're fun. They add another layer of my usual ramblings, which is always
Well,
nice.
that's good.
Although I like my holiday specials to be multi-part, and there is just a dearth of Easter-related material worth talking about, so I only could find one episode of a thing to talk about.
I hear you. I hear you. So yeah. But for me today, we're just gonna be talking about role-playing games, particularly of the Japanese variety. Dalton,
Always fun.
do you? Well, how about I start with this? Have you ever played any?
Um, I play a lot of role-playing games. I don't think I've ever played any JRPGs.
Ah, not any of the ones from the East, huh?
No, I mean a couple video games that might conceivably count, but
Well, it
as-
depends. What games are you thinking would count?
I and of course not. I can't think of any titles. Damn it! But
Darn it! It's like right there on the cusp of knowledge, and it's like, boop, nope, it's gone.
no, denied.
You have been denied, sir. Denied, denied, denied. Um. Oh, okay. How about this? Final Fantasy. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, I played like 10 of those.
There you go. That is a JRPG.
So yeah, I guess if we're counting Final Fantasy, yes, I played quite a few JRPGs over the course of the years.
Well, there are a variety of them, but that doesn't mean that Final Fantasy is excluded because it's the most popular and basically the most normie one you could ever play.
Mhm.
I mean, everybody starts somewhere. Final Fantasy is where I started, so
Is Mortal Kombat a JRPG or is that just
no, it's just a
I
fighting game.
I was gonna say because there's probably a lot of crossover there. I just can't think of any
Okay.
like
Well,
crossover between
if you can think
JRPGs
of,
and fighting games.
yeah,
You would
if you could,
think because
there might be some in some aspects. I don't. Normally, fighting games are a completely separate genre to what RPGs are. So I know that some of the games they might have some sort of customizable thing going on, like maybe they allow you to customize character stats
right, yeah,
or something to that nature, or customize move sets and whatnot, and that would be an element of an RPG, wouldn't it?
yeah,
But other than that, I can't say for sure
yeah,
whether or not.
because the role playing usually implies more tasks and storylines than just go here and fight this person.
Yeah, prepare for shirtless pretty boys. Who knows what might happen? We'll see. Probably not today. Not today, Joan. Sorry. I know you wanted me to do that for Dalton, but I don't know if we're going to be doing that today. So, what Final Fantasy games have you played, Dalton?
um. Okay. I want to say I started with 9 or was it 7?
Well, it depends. Was it on the PlayStation 1?
The one that I'm thinking of was on the PlayStation 2, so that was
That would be 10.
okay. Yeah.
Final
It
Fantasy 10 start was on the PS2.
it was the island one that had the bad guy that was named Sin.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That is 10. That is Final Fantasy 10.
yeah.
We.
And after that, I went back and played some of the earlier ones, and I
Mhm.
think I played like 12 or 14, but I didn't like it so much.
Okay. Well, we can
So I
start with Final Fantasy because I have played quite a few of those in my time.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people have. It's probably the
Well,
most famous of this particular subgenre.
yes, it is. Actually, check Twitter, Wolf. I don't want to check Twitter. Twitter is a nightmare. It is horrible, and I hate it. And meme or a thumbnail. Did you screenshot me or something? Well, if you want to meme me, please go ahead. That's how you gain more popularity. That's how it works, guys. The more you meme me, the more powerful I will become.
And if you're looking for meme subject matter, people in the chat, you should make it about how his voice doesn't match his face.
Well, you're probably right there. It is a little bit weird. Nope, actual thumbnail for YouTube. Yeah. Well, if we're gonna talk Final Fantasy, this is actually the Final Fantasy game that I started with. A friend of mine was we hung out a lot and we shared video games a lot, and Final Fantasy VIII was the one that he brought to my house. And I ended up me and my brother ended up buying it. This is actually my brother's copy of the game. Um, and we played it. And I played this for a considerable length of time, up until I think around disc 2. This is like, how many discs is this? This is 4 discs, isn't it? No, it's 3. Never mind. I thought it was. No, wait. No, it is 4.
Hmm.
I miscounted. But yeah, I played through like the first disc and into 2, and then I kind of lost track of whatever the hell was going on. Um, because I liked the premise from the start, but then we started to go into out of body experiences, and it started to trip balls for some reason.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep.
Do
It's
you
that
remember
one.
that, Nate? Where you go from one group of adventurers to another, instead of like doing like something like, oh hey, we're gonna do flashbacks. No, we're having an out of body experience, and we're actually experiencing their lives. And I'm like, okay, you're getting into really weird territory, and I don't know if I appreciate this.
I liked it because I generally like tripping and astral projection and stuff.
Yeah,
Like it's an interesting setup.
yeah,
Um,
it is. Yeah. Uh,
but yeah, as far as the overall franchise is concerned, it seems to be an outlier. But weird is good.
yeah, weird can sometimes be a fun thing. Uh, so Dalton, what do you think about the magic system? What for 8? Because a lot of people give 8's magic system a whole lot of shit.
Um, or just in the Final Fantasy like franchise in general.
I don't know if he's being specific. I thought he may have been referring to 8's system of magic, which was the draw system,
Mm-hmm.
where in order to acquire the to use spells, you had to basically draw them away from the enemies that you fought, or basically kind of like absorb them and
Mm-hmm.
stockpile them. And then if you ended up using one of them, it would disappear and you would have to restock, and it could become a tedious and boring process. But also the chaotic junction system on top of that, where all of the different spells could give you boosts and things like health and whatnot, which is odd choice. So it's like, oh, hey, to answer you, yes. That doesn't answer anything, Joan. Doesn't answer a damn thing.
Please specify, are you referring to Final Fantasy VIII's system, or are you referring to the Final Fantasy franchise overall?
Because, well, to be honest, each of them kind of has a different magic system per game. So, or at least how it's implemented. I guess the spells and whatnot themselves don't change much.
It seems like it's different, like different types, but within the same like framework.
Yeah, because there's the staples of the series that everybody has. Like we have the summon system, like the summons like Shiva, Ifrit, Bahamut, and others. They always show up. That are constants. Actually, Final Fantasy VII.
Then you've got the mage types, which are always pretty much the same. You got your black mage, your red mage, and your white one.
Yes, the latter. So was he referring? He could be referring to the system as a whole, I guess. I don't know.
I think that's what he's getting at. I think he's getting at the system overall. I like it. I like that there are different kinds of mages and magic users, because that's something that you don't always see a lot of. Like, there are different kinds of magic, so there are different specializations to go into. You don't just study all the things and then become a master of all the things. I mean, you can try, but it's a lot of fucking work, and you have to get good at various different things. Like, someone who studies a hell of a lot of alchemy is different from someone who studies like conjuring and evocation. So it is nice to see that, and also it is nice to see someone whose powers basically do revolve around summoning things. Because, like I say, evocation is a big part of particularly high magic systems.
Yeah, Yuna from 10. Well, I know that they've had summoners in other games too, but most of the other games they kind of just let you customize the characters to do whatever you want. Because like in 7, the system for this, what was it? The materia system. It's just like you just had slots and you just equipped what you wanted on the slot, so anybody could summon the creature that they want. It's like, oh, I want to bring Bahamut with me, or I want to have Bahamut on like Cloud or something. It's like, oh, just slap him on there and then just use him whenever I want. And that's pretty much how that works. But there's always other ways to do it. 10 is a good game. I have not. I used to give it a lot of shit because I didn't like it very much. But now, considering like 13 and 14, oh wait, not 14. 14 is fine because that's an MMO. But 13 and 15, since they were really shitty, in my opinion, I actually now consider 10 to be a godsend in comparison. It's like, at least it had personality. Yeah, it's a little dated with really bad voice acting at times, but
do you think some of the later ones were worth checking out again? Because I remember 13 just annoyed the fuck out of me, and I was just like, nope.
13 is one of those games that I genuinely despise for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why. That's one of the reasons why I decided to, instead of going up in the line, I went back and tried some of the older ones that I hadn't.
Yeah, the older ones are always normally a good go-to. In my personal opinion, excluding Final Fantasy 14, because that's the MMO, which is a great MMO, by the way. If you have the opportunity to play it, I recommend it, because I wish I could go back and play it, but
I mean, I'm stuck on my phone, and most MMOs throw a shit fit. So
Yeah,
No.
yeah, you would need a decent computer or a PS4. Actually, I think they had it on PS3 too. No, wait, no, they did. I don't know
Hmm.
if it's still on there, but they did at one point. But I
I'll have
think
to ask my brother. He has all the like game systems because it's
yeah,
like the only thing he likes.
it is a paid subscription though. From time I played, they might change that in the future though. Considering its age, I'm surprised they haven't yet. Actually, you know that they haven't added like a free to play system in it because almost every MMO does now.
Yeah, you'd think.
Where it's like, oh, we'll give you a couple of character slots and a level cap at the very least, like at least probably like up to a certain point in the game, and then you may have to buy stuff in the future.
Hmm.
But in my opinion, at least when it comes to like storytelling and whatnot, I think the last decent one that had a decent story was 12.
Hmm.
This one, its combat system, not the most desirable. It feels like
No.
you're playing an MMO for some reason, and I don't know why they chose to do that. But I think 12 was really good because the story was just goddamn
What was the
impressive.
story there?
Well, mainly just like a great big old, a lot of conspiracy stuff,
Ah,
and well, let me see if I can remember. Um, the story starts off without the main character. You play as the main character's brother, who's trying to defend his king during a war, and unfortunately, someone impersonating this guy, this knight right here, or basically his twin brother. I know I'm spoiling things, but at this point, the game is that old, so um,
yeah. It's not like anyone was like, I'm gonna wait until I play Final Fantasy 12, and then all of a sudden they stumble on the stream, and it's like, God damn it!
but yeah, his twin brother framed him for the murder. He ended up in prison, and also at the same time, the princess's husband or fiance, whatever you want to call it, betrothed or whatever, is killed during a war. She's claimed to be dead, and most of the time you're just trying to unravel what's going on, all the while working with some sky pirates. So
Hmm.
the one thing I didn't like the main character Vaughn. Kind of sucks. He feels kind of just put in there, and it doesn't feel like he has any real reason to be there other than I want to
Why
be an air pirate.
why wouldn't they just stick with the brother then? If the brother is where you
The
start the
brother
game,
is
why didn't
the
they?
brother is killed, or well,
Oh,
no, he's not killed. He's in a coma. I think is how they, or he was so injured that he couldn't talk anymore, so he couldn't reveal
okay.
who killed the king or anything.
Hmm.
At least that's from what I remember, and I'm just going off of my memory of what I had played of this. I haven't finished it, but
Hmm.
there was lot of really good stuff going on in the game. They had the judges who were a very interesting antagonist, but I don't think I ever got to the point where I had to fight the judges.
Hmm.
But I mean, I liked both here. The Sky Pirate. He was probably my favorite character, actually.
Hmm.
The Suave Debonair swashbuckling pirate.
Yeah, it's kind of
Um,
hard to fuck up that archetype.
yeah, he was a fun character to have. Uh, the knight that lost his honor and was framed for murder, he was a pretty good character too.
Oh joy,
So,
one of those.
well, I already told you he was framed for the murder of the king
Right.
when he didn't do it. It was his brother that did it.
Mm. But still, it's interesting that that has become a trope in and of itself now. Like we've so become accustomed to knights just being dishonored that now now a knight who's been dishonored wrongfully is almost as much of a trope as the knight in shining armor is.
Yeah, actually, the one thing that's funny is after playing through part of 8, my friend then brought Final Fantasy 7, And this was the one I ended up falling in love with more
Hmm.
because I liked the story more and I liked the characters.
Isn't 7 the one that everybody pretty much hates?
7 is the one that is how would I put it in the most kindest of terms? The most overrated one?
Hmm.
I would probably put it in the overrated category. It's a really good game. It's a solid game, and everybody and a lot of people
But
really like it.
it's not the game to end all games.
No, it's not. It has its flaws. It's far from perfect. I mean, me personally, out of the main line of Final Fantasies, 7 is my favorite one because I like the. I don't know what would you call it. I don't know if I could call it steampunk, punk or futuristic or anything of that nature. It had a lot of really good ideas about like the planet dying and you know and trying to protect it from evil corporations. Hello,
Oh,
Eclectic. How are you?
oh joy, Fern Gully, Final Fantasy Edition.
Well, there's a lot more to it than that. Then, of course, you have the main antagonist, Sephiroth, who's a child of an ancient being that goes by the name of Genova, who goes basically crazy and goes on a murdering rampage and kills everybody.
Hmm.
And he says, I'm going to destroy the world. Well, it's not like we haven't already heard that in a Final Fantasy game. But his method of destroying the world is a little different. I'm going to send a giant meteor to the planet and
Well, I
destroy it.
mean, points for potential effectiveness, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
I
like
thought,
most villains are just like, I'm gonna get this obscure weapon or like
yeah,
power from this ancient
yeah,
artifact, and he's just like, nope, I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way and hit it with a meteor.
yeah,
Fair play.
yeah. Hello, Elijah. How are you doing, man? If you're free, you're welcome to hop in here. We're talking JRPGs just for the lulz, you know. If you're free, we could always use an extra voice or two. I thought that 7 was probably the best one from a character that had a past, or he's Cloud is the character that unfortunately one of the characters in 13 emulated too much, and that was what was her name? What was the main Lightning?
Hmm.
Mentioned that he has the best theme in all of Final Fantasy history. Sephiroth does have probably one of the best theme songs for any character in Final Fantasy. I'm not even
Interesting.
I'm not even going to pretend to not know that or to disagree with that because it's it's stuck in your brain.
Hmm.
It's ingrained in my memory every time he showed up.
Earworm.
I wish oh no, he's not free. Please, Elijah, save us. Yes, Eric. Sephiroth is using Char's method of freeing humanity from Earth. He's not freeing humanity. He's doing his mother's bidding. He thinks that he's doing because he's kind of a mama's boy, I guess, and he wants to punish humanity for imprisoning her, I guess. Or I'm having a real tough time remembering his proper motivations. Uh,
Hmm.
aside from destroying humanity, I think it was because initially he was just a soldier, like Cloud was. He was just an ordinary, well, not ordinary soldier. He was a super soldier.
Hmm.
But when he found out his origin, like where he came from, it turned
Hmm.
out that he was like an experiment to create an ancient being, basically. He kind of snapped and went nuts, and then decided
Ah.
it's like, so I'm not human at all. I'm just gonna go and kill everything to punish you for creating me. Or I can't really remember what's the difference. No real difference. His motivation is pretty cut and dry. Kill everything. Kill Earth. Punish it.
Because apparently he didn't ask to be born, because super
Something.
villains just have emo teenager moments now.
Yeah, he's pretty emo. Let's be honest. Hold on a second. Maybe let's I'll type in. Uh, oh, there it is. Sephiroth. I'll put some. I'll put an image up. So I will show you just how much of an emo boy the character is.
Oh joy!
I mean, who doesn't want to know?
I'm expecting black eyeliner.
Well, it depends on the version that you look at. Hold on a second. I need to actually hit screen share first. That would probably be helpful. Here we go. Well, that's a figure of Sephiroth.
Yeah, I'm imagining this guy spends a lot of his money at the medieval equivalent of Hot Topic.
Yeah, he kind of does. He definitely looks that way. Hojo is the true villain of Final Fantasy VII. Oh yeah, Sephiroth's dad, his human father. Yeah, guy's a little bit of a nutcase. That
Well,
guy,
yeah, if
sick
he's
and
trying
twisted.
if he's trying to like give birth to some kind of eldritch abomination, then probably.
Yeah. Well, here's Sephiroth with his angel wing too. His nickname is One Winged Angel because he's only half god creature thing. I guess you could say. I don't know what to call it because I can't remember what Genova is. My kind of guy. I'm drawing my gun that has really heavy armor. Want a new image? And choking boy, like I have no idea what Jones is going on about right now. But I don't know. 7 is really good though. I like the whole trying to save the planet from people mining it for resources, in particularly the energy of the planet.
Okay, so basically the environmental plot from Avatar.
Similar, I think. I'm basically the way that the planet, instead of like mining for something like oil and whatnot, they're taking something called Mako energy, which is the lifeblood of the planet itself. If the Shinra Corporation, the main antagonists aside from Sephiroth, continue to mine at the current level that they are, the planet will die. So Cloud joins a group of resistance fighters called Avalanche, or he's hired to do a job for them to help them, and eventually he gets dragged into just going to save the planet, even though initially he couldn't give two shits. He has this very rude attitude about him that I think competed with Sephiroth. Sephiroth was Kefka from Final Fantasy VI. Yes. Kefka is probably by far one of the best villains, pretty much in general, because he actually manages to succeed in his goal, which is to destroy the planet and become a god. And he does do that, surprisingly enough.
Well, I mean, there are worse motivations, and I can totally see why he would want to be that, so why not?
Yeah. He has a really good motivation. Well, the motivation is simple, but the fact that they actually let him succeed at the end of it, or near the end of the game, is actually the part that's really surprising, because the team gets up. From what I remember from what people have told me about the game, is the entire team gets separated after Kefka destroys the world. Then you have to rejoin everybody and then fight Kefka to stop his evil. because now all he does is he sits on his tower basically, just randomly nuking whatever's left of Earth or of the planet. Just random destruction just for the lulz of it.
Well, I mean, you get bored, so
Yeah, he wants to show his divinity by nuking everything and within sight just for the fun of it. I mean, you gotta entertain yourself somehow. It's lonely at the top. He has no friends. Um, but yeah, I don't like. I didn't like 13. 13 was terrible, and like I said earlier, Cloud's. They repeated Cloud's kind of behavior from
mm,
7, and they kind of imprinted it on her because one, she's a soldier again. 2, she has the same attitude. She's just like standoffish, kind of a jerk, or in her case, a bitch.
yeah.
And the only thing that separates her from Cloud, I think, is the fact that she actually has a family. Cloud doesn't have one, and he doesn't really care about anybody but himself for the most part, or just trying
Oh,
to make a living. Sephiroth's motivations changed in Advent Children. That's because nobody wants to mention Advent Children. It's a movie, and nobody wants to talk about it.
what happened with that?
Oh boy, did they really make weird decisions with that? Okay, Advent Children was a continuation of the story, but
Mm,
they decided that Sephiroth didn't die at the end. Instead, he has managed to survive through the life stream of the planet, and he's been slowly poisoning people with a disease called, oh, I can't remember what, I think it was called stigma or
mm.
something to that nature. I can't remember the exact name, but he's been poisoning people and individuals, and he's trying to basically reconstitute his body to come back. And he succeeds temporarily in getting his body back by using one of his devout hosts who constantly are talking about Mother, which they're referring to Genova. Um, it's kind of interesting and funny. But it's really weird to have him come back, possessing one of his 3, I don't know what to call them, subordinates, vessels, whatever the case may be. It was a
Free
very weird
or
movie.
something. Yeah.
It was a weird movie. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense, and it also ruined Cloud's character because in the original game, Cloud actually goes through a character arc. He's a jerk at the beginning. He's motivated to move towards, actually saving the planet. And then halfway through the game, you realize that his memories that he's had all this time weren't even his. They were of
Mm.
his best friend, who also worked at Soldier, named Zach, and he doesn't even remember who he is. So he had to and he turns to an actual hero and actually motivated to, yeah, let's work together, let's save the planet. Advent Children, they stripped that away, and he's back to being the loner asshole that he was at the beginning. I'm like, why is he alone again? Why? Why did
Because
you do
reasons.
this? Well, it's because emo pretty boy. That's why.
Uh
Because
huh.
that's more attractive, I guess, to people or to, you know, people who like that type of character.
Mm.
I guess they liked his more edgy and emo type of phase that he was in. It's like he should be with his friends. He doesn't even answer his damn phone through part of the movie. I'm like, what?
Why?
I'm sorry, Cloud. Why? I thought we were over this hump. I really did. I thought we'd gone to actually maturing and growing up and being an adult and not being an emo prick. Won't even barely look at your childhood friend Tifa at all, or talk to Barrett or Sid or any of the other party members from the previous game. Heck, people,
Yeah.
even the former president of Shinra tries to contact you. He contacts you and asks for your help, and you still act like a douchebag, and they're the only people you interact with until the end of the movie. I'm like, oh god, I hate this.
Oh no, the curse of the video game movie remains intact.
I mean, it looks pretty because it's a CGI movie. It's goddamn gorgeous to look at. And there are some moments in it that I like. There's some really good fights. Uh there are some fun interactions with some of the characters, but yeah, I don't like that it messed with Cloud's character too much cuz you mean his should be wife. Yes, considering that they adopted kids practically, or she did.
So what you're saying is Cloud definitely didn't put you on Cloud 9?
No. That was probably the worst part of the movie was his behavior. It didn't fit what he had gone through. He went from having a fake identity to not knowing his identity to actually basically regaining somewhat of his own personality and identity, defeating somebody who had initially almost killed him. And yep, we're right back to square one where he hates everybody and doesn't talk to anyone. I'm like, why did you do this to me?
Well, fuck.
And the weird thing is like he behaves like an emotional child, and I understand. The weird thing is that he had moved past some of the nonsense, like the death of one of the teammates that you lose, Aerith. He got over that, you know. But they had to bring her back because now apparently she's the life stream of the planet now, and for some reason, but he's still hung up over the fact that she's dead. I'm like, I thought he would have moved past this by now. Because he got his revenge. Why would he be moping about it? And it wasn't like you were that attached to her to begin with. That was
We
the
need
weird part.
emo moping. That's why. We need emo moping. That's our definition of character development, to say the people behind the movie.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about Advent Children anymore. It'll just depress me further.
Okay.
But actually, since we're still on the topic of Final Fantasy, how about we talk about Final Fantasy Tactics? Because this game is probably my favorite Final Fantasy game that I've ever played. This one has probably the best story out of any Final Fantasy game I've played.
Which is?
A giant, massive conspiracy story and a war. A War of Lions. I think they took inspiration from the 100-Year War when they
Okay.
did this.
That makes sense, because Richard of the Lionheart and all that, yeah.
Yeah. But basically, it's got all of my favorite elements. It's what kind of gave me a template for other types of stories that I like. Like backstabbing, political intrigue, conspiracy, and just some overall decent character story and development for the main cast and whatnot. I mean, the story actually literally starts off where it does this little kind of brief summary of explaining the history and what the war is. Does Dragon Ball Xenoverse count as a JRPG? Probably a little bit. Yeah, I guess you could count it that because you have stats and whatnot, Joan. So it does kind of count.
That was the other one I was wondering about, because I vaguely remember playing that for like 5 seconds once.
And you're lucky you didn't play any further because it has a weird difficulty spike.
Ah.
Yes, Elijah, you should play Final Fantasy Tactics. It's goddamn fantastic. It's got a good combat system if you're into more like a tactical grid-based combat system. It does end up making the game play a little slower, but also the game is not that hard. Here in the PS1 version, there are plenty of cheats that you could use to cheat the system to get like infinite, like some of the best equipment, gear, money, things of that nature. So there's plenty of ways to cheat the system on the old one. They did remake this they remade it for the PlayStation, the PSP. called Final Fantasy Tactics War of Lions. But this is the original, and I like the original far more. But
What did they do differently in the updated version?
um, well, one they added some new cinematics in a, and the new cinematics are beautiful. They had this very nice cell shaded cutscenes, which are really nice to look at.
Hmm.
The gameplay and the story itself doesn't really change all that much. It's all pretty much the same. I think that guest characters are slightly changed because in this one you can recruit Cloud from Final Fantasy VII.
Hmm.
And in War of Lions, I know that you can recruit what was his name? Balthier from Final Fantasy XII, the Sky Pirate.
Hmm.
And they also have a couple extra added classes like and Black Knight, Holy Knight, and I think Onion Knight. I think was another one. They had
Onion
some.
Knight?
Yeah, that's a Final Fantasy thing. Don't ask me. I don't know what they are really. I never understood that part of.
Probably because onions are important in like Japanese metaphysics. Like
Yeah.
I, they use onions in a lot of the same way as we use like garlic. Like
Ah.
over in Japan, like onions are said to keep away various varieties of demons and spirits
Hmm.
and things.
Does Gundam Breaker 1? Most of the Gundam Breaker games do count because it has a level system and it has customizing options. So it is kind of an RPG. It's just an action one. Um, Now I was gonna actually get to the actual. Um, I was talking about the story and then I lost track because I was talking about the combat and whatnot for tactics. Because when they tell the story of who they consider to be the most important or the person who won the war, which
Hmm.
is I can never. Main character's name is Ramza, but his best friend is a guy by the name of Dalthier, and they talk about Dalthier and how he's the hero who unifies everybody and he stops the war. But Ramza is they say is like, but this story isn't about him. This story is about the man who was claimed to be a heretic and who fought the church and went down in history as basically a traitor and whatnot.
Ah,
And that's just like from that opening premise. It's like, oh, so we're not following the hero. We're following more like, well, we're still following a hero, but one that the public doesn't recognize or notice. We're telling the tale of a side character almost in a way,
a rogue.
a rogue, kind of like a rogue character, but it's more like kind of a like from a different perspective because the history book is going to tell you one thing. Here's the other
No,
side of it.
but I said a
Oh,
rogue as in like the original character archetype of the dashing rogue, basically.
oh. Well, he doesn't
Cut-
start off with that, but yeah, I guess he is kind of a rogue considering that he's kind of fighting against everybody. Um, but yeah, there was a lot of really good stuff happening in there. There were some. Oh, what was it? Because when you start off, he's actually the what is it? He's the son of a noble. He's from a noble house,
Hmm.
whereas his friend, who we already discussed, Delthea or Delete, I can never pronounce his name properly. Um, he's a nobody basically. He's not a member of any noble house or anything. He's just friends with him, and they're in the Knight Academy or an academy for soldiers, and they end up fighting for a long time until I can't remember what chapter, but partway through early game, they meet up with another guy who's also a noble, but he thinks very lowly of the peasant and common folk. So he's willing to sacrifice anything to get the job done, and ends up shooting um, Del- Delita's sister and
hmm.
killing her, and sets him on a path of basically getting back at the nobility, I guess, in a sense. How come we don't get to see Dalton's pretty face? Because he's on his phone? Probably. I don't know.
Well, because I'm currently not wearing any clothes, and also I am in major need of a haircut.
Well, there you go. There's your response and answer. But yeah, I think Tactics is a good game. I wish that they would have made more. More in the vein of this one. They did make two others for the Game Boy Advance and the DS, but I didn't like those two as much because, well, what was it? Because Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, the combat system, the grid-based combat didn't really change, but they added in a new system called the Judge system because this is in the Final Fantasy 12 world, so the judges are a thing, and you have to contend with their BS where they put it in rules and restrictions of what you can and cannot use in combat for missions and whatnot. And I'm like, this is annoying. I did not like that. That actually pissed me off because sometimes it was like, we don't want you to attack this type of enemy, but that's the only enemy that's on the battlefield. How am I supposed to win? It's like, no penalty, you lose. It's like, screw you, judges. Screw you. I didn't like that.
Hmm.
Also, the story was a lot more childish, and I mean, if you were into more whimsical storytelling of a bunch of kids from the real world basically getting thrown into a storybook, it's fine.
So it it's basically the video game equivalent of like that whole subgenre of anime.
Yeah,
The
it's an isekai story.
yeah,
Yes.
I couldn't think of the
Um,
name, but yeah, it's an
yeah,
isekai.
three kids get transported to a world in a storybook. That was pretty much the premise, and wasn't nearly as compelling or interesting as what the first Tactics did. I'm gonna put the Final Fantasy games away because I don't need them right now. Because I think we're pretty much done talking about Final Fantasy as a whole. I don't know, unless Dalton has anything he wants to add about his experience with the franchise.
It's a good franchise. I should get back into it. I don't know why I ended up stopping. I think because I think because I just ran out of games to um look into, and I didn't I for whatever reason thought that the newer ones were always going to be shit. So now that I know that some of the newer ones aren't shit, maybe I'll get back into them.
That depends on how new we go into it. Because they have remade some of the older ones. 10 has gotten HD remakes. So did 12.
Hmm. I
Working
might
on a
have to
Final Fantasy VII remake, but I don't know what that's going to be like.
I might have to start by replaying 10 again. That would be interesting.
10 would be a good one to go back to. 10 is good. I I have 10, but I also have 10 2 because a friend gave them to me, and I'm like, I like 10. 10 2 is a little weird. I don't really like that one,
They made a sequel to Final Fantasy X.
and I wouldn't recommend playing it
What
because
happened?
it's kind of like a retread of all the stuff that had already happened. I don't remember. They tried to bring spoilers for 10. They tried to bring Titus back.
Uh,
And Titus dies at the end of 10. So, and it's with,
mhm.
but it's with the girls only. It's with Yuna and Riku and a new girl by the name of Pain.
Hmm.
And it's basically just those three trying to figure stuff out, I guess. I don't know. I can barely remember what did happen. The only part that I do remember is that it's a very fan service heavy type game
Ah,
because they created like a costume system similar to one of the Final Fantasy 13
ah,
sequels,
ah.
where the characters just change costumes and they get different powers.
Okay.
Combat system works, and but unless you're interested in dress up with Final Fantasy girls, I don't know if it's for everyone.
Hmm.
That'll learn me to ask. That's what you get, Dalton. You ask questions and then you get the answer to something you didn't want to know. So if he has anything to add, it's like asking Michael Moore if he'd like another dessert. You know the answer before you ask.
Well, I mean, I'm minorly insulted by the comparison to Michael Moore because you wouldn't be insulted by the comparison to Michael Moore, but you are also not wrong. Your analogy is annoying, but it also is accurate. So fair
Mm,
enough. Fair play.
yep. Fair play to you, Eric. Fair play. So, yeah, this was the thing for today. I brought like most of my collection of JRPG games with downstairs. I don't know what compelled me to, but I decided to anyway.
The power of JRPG compels you.
It compels me to show off all of my part of my collection, not all of it. There are some games that aren't here because like all the Pokemon games aren't here, and what other games? There's probably a few others that aren't here that I probably forgot that I do have, like all of my other Fire Emblem games and whatnot. But how about we talk about Star Ocean?
Okay.
This one's good. I like Star Ocean. This one's probably one of my favorite franchises that doesn't get enough attention and enough love. This is a more action oriented RPG. This one right now that I'm holding is Star Ocean 2, second story. I've never gotten to play one. This was my first experience with it was during the PlayStation 1 era. And funnily enough, this is like it was a video store's rental copy of the game. And that's how me and my brother found out about the series was we rented this.
Back when
And
video stores were still a thing, and
yeah,
in between the time when they just stocked videos and when they started talking video games.
yeah, yeah. And this game piqued my brother's interest, and this was his pick for rental. And he rented it, and me and him both played it. He played it more than I did, but since then I have had a chance to play it more. And I like the idea or this premise the most because, as everybody knows, I like science fiction more than I like fantasy. This is more science fiction based. Um, because basically there's like a coalition of highly advanced planets, kind of like a union. What would you call it? A unionized group of planets or interstellar travelers and whatnot.
A federation, basically.
Yeah,
If
kind
we're
of like a
using like Star Trek
yeah. It would be
terms.
kind of like Star Trek. It's like Star Trek, where they explore outer space and whatnot. But at least in two of the stories that are my favorite ones, this one and the third one, you end up in two you end up being trapped, or I don't remember. It could have been time travel related because I can't remember what happened to the main character Claude exactly.
Hmm.
But it was just like he gets trapped on a more primitive planet,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the Federation has certain rules that you have to follow, and like you can't interfere with primitive societies, basically, or minimal invasion of primitive.
Prime Directive is
Yeah, basically, don't interfere with the development of smaller civil or less developed civilizations. But sometimes these characters end up in the situation where they don't have a choice and they have to interact with them in some form or be involved. And Star Ocean 2 was really good. Another thing that I liked about some of the first, well, not only just Star Ocean 2, but Star Ocean 3, they had this interesting idea for companions or, your team members. And that's the ability to choose who you take with you.
hmm.
There are certain events in the game. Of course, they never tell you this directly, like, oh, hey, you have to do this in order to get this character, or you have to say certain things. It's in the character's dialogues, basically.
Okay, so
where
it's a little bit like uh what the fuck was the Final Fantasy game or not Final Fantasy, but Castlevania game that you went down like different paths to get to different characters. I can't remember. I think it was Symphony of the Night.
it could have been.
I think
I'm
was
not as big a Castlevania buff as you are, man.
because in that one you went down like different um plot threads, and depending on which plot thread you went down, you either got Grant, Alucard, or Sippa as your secondary character.
Yeah, yeah, and this has a very similar system where you'll run across certain characters and you'll talk to them, but depending on your actions, depending on what you say to them, or in some cases, depending on how you handle a certain situation, like I think one of them is there's a guy at an arena early on in the game that if you beat him, I think later on you can recruit him to be a party member, but I don't remember the exact details. And it's not like you can go back and recruit these people later. Once you have the team or the characters, you're stuck with who you picked or who you
Mm-hmm.
communicated or did the necessary requirement. I really like that because it gives you an opportunity to play the game more than once.
Mm.
You know, you can play through the story once and then try something different, and maybe you'll have different party members and different interactions and different scenarios might unfold through the course of the game. And I
Mm.
always appreciated that for Star Ocean. I know that 2 and 3 did that the most because I don't know anything about Star Ocean 1. But I don't think they did that for ones like 4 and 5. I think they kind of took that away from you. It's like, but I like that because then I get to choose who I get to have on my team.
Mm.
But or at least it gives you the opportunity to try different things. It's like, what are my needs? Who should I bring with me? But unfortunately, I don't think they did that later on.
Oh, that sucked.
Because I think 4 kind of eliminated that. They kind of just stuck you with the same team, I think, for most of the
Ah,
game. You just recruited them at random. They just show up and then they're just part of the team. There's no, at least from what I remember, there's no trick to teaming up with them or anything. But Star Ocean 2 is pretty good. This is the Star Ocean game that I played the most, which was Star Ocean 3, till the end of time.
mm.
And that one got really weird and really meta partway through. And I'm like, okay, this is getting weird. And it
Meta's
was,
good.
yeah, it can be good, or it could really confuse you if you're a young kid and you've been playing this story and you thought, oh, we're going one direction, but now we're going to go completely, we're going to like counter shift entirely into a whole new meta. And I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah,
Just like both.
I imagine a young Squire Wolf being very confused by that.
Well, let's see, because the story starts off pretty much the same as the other Star Ocean games, where you end up there's a situation, you end up trapped on a desolate world. You try and find your way back. You end up going through several different adventures to try and get back home, basically, or to find your family who were you were separated from. And you
Mm.
went from that to finding out, oh, by the way, you're actually in a video game. I'm like, wait, what?
In universe.
In
Lol.
universe, yes. In universe, you end up in a video game. I'm like, uh, pardon me? Hold on a second. What? Why?
3 layers of fourth wall broken and counting.
But oh my god, that was just so ridiculously funny when that happened. And I kind of lost interest actually. And I was like, you kind of ruined the story for me now. Now I'm a little bit disappointed. Because I liked where it was going, and now apparently there's these higher power beings that have the ability to control reality, and they're the ones who created this world, and now they're going to destroy everything and start over. I'm like, okay, sure. Talk about tripping balls and really going out there, but At some point, I should try and finish this game.
So I assume the rest of that game revolves around fighting the powers that be, as
Yeah,
the old saying goes.
yeah. At halfway through, you end up changing the thing takes a turn, and you have to fight them instead because you have to fight for your own existence, basically, which is a cool idea. I just wasn't expecting them to say, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're all avatars or NPCs from another who are part of a game, and the makers and creators aren't happy." Was certainly odd, but it was really good, and I liked the characters. A lot of the characters were really fun. For the main character, Fate, had a pretty decent personality, unlike a lot of stereotypical um, JRPG protagonist who's like, yeah, let's go save the world. He was more like just calm, rational kid, just
Mm-hmm.
your everyday kid, not really like, oh yeah, let's do this. He's more like, oh god, why me? More
Yeah,
often than not.
I definitely would be siding more with that perspective than the let's go get them perspective.
Yeah, he was more calm and rational through most of the game.
He's the Bilbo Baggins type of character. You want to go
Yeah.
on an adventure? Well, I did just make tea, so no, I just make tea.
Actually, yeah, he's kind of a loaf like that. Like at the beginning of the game, he has his cousin. I think her name is Sophie, and she wants to go explore the resort that they're at because they're at like a tropical resort in space. And he wants to spend more time in the simulator room, playing games, which in this version of the world is
Okay,
basically
another layer of meta and counting.
yes, because he likes to play video games and practice combat training
Okay,
in VR.
so a nerdy guy in a simulated universe who likes playing video games that we are playing as a character in a video game where we fight extra dimensional entities that created this digital universe in the universe of this game we're playing.
Yeah,
Okay. Yep,
sure.
yep, yep. That that
That's not
totally
gonna.
seems like a thing that would happen.
Yeah, you're
Fate
right,
is not without a
eclectic.
sense of irony, as they
Yeah,
say in the Matrix.
yeah. You have to be careful, eclectic, with that type of twist. It can ruin the story. I don't really think that they make your previous actions meaningless. It's more or less this thing just kind of comes out of left field, and now you have to contend with it. Because if I
Mm-hmm.
remember correctly, it's woven in properly enough to make sense. Like this group of creators has a connection to the villains that you were fighting up to this point, but or something to that nature. I can't really remember. It's just that you angered the gods. No
Ah,
happy birthday, Jay. That's not appropriate for this stream. This is a PG stream, man. Why would you say that? Why would you say you would fist someone? That's so inappropriate, man. The king is here. Good for you. And happy birthday, I guess.
hmm.
If that's what you wanted from me. Did you want a happy birthday? You don't give a fuck. Well, if that's the case, then why are you asking for one? I didn't even know you were here until just now. Just show up in my stream raiding me.
Well, it's Jay.
Yeah, he does that.
He's probably well on the road to being drunk as we speak, so he probably doesn't even have any accountability for his actions.
Probably not. Oh no, he will face fist someone. Sure, Omnitron, that's how that works.
Hmm.
So, because I can. Well, you're not wrong, Jay. You can do what you want. You are free to come and join and hit the like button and bother the living shit out of me. But that's most of the stuff I have to say about Star Ocean. Did I bring? Oh, I do have Star Ocean 4 here. The Last Hope. I don't know if I really want to talk about Star Ocean 4. I don't like the characters as much.
The Last Hope was not very hopeful.
No, because Edge Maverick is the prototypical protagonist of every JRPG ever.
Ah.
He's really not that interesting as a character. And he doesn't really change all that much. Although I did like that game because they actually focused more on the whole we're traveling through space trying to solve a mystery or trying to find people. I appreciated that, but at the same time I'm all like Edge Maverick is a dumb shit and an annoying character that I don't care for very much. And a lot of the other characters were not as memorable either, unfortunately. But I guess I could still show it here, considering I'm showing the collection to everybody. So here it is, the international version. It's not the worst game. It still plays really well. It's just that I can't remember very much of anything that happens.
Hmm.
It has been a while.
I see.
Just because I'm a dad now doesn't mean I can't still kick it with my brothers. Well, that's very nice of you to say. Oh, did the baby finally come? Jay, congratulations.
Congratulations, Jay. Don't scar the child for life too much.
Oh, we know that's probably going to happen no matter what we say.
Well, that's why I used the qualifier too much. There was zero possibility of no scarring for life, so just keep it to a minimum, shall we?
Yep. Yeah, this was it was a weird entry, and I know Star Ocean 5 was not much better from what I've heard. I still haven't had a chance to try it out though. But it seems like that one's even more devoid of story-based content and whatnot.
Hmm.
She's got to be 2 months old in May. Well, congrats, man. Muscle tough and all that.
Yay.
So what do you think, Dalton? Any interest in Star Ocean? Possibly.
I think I'm gonna have to play that one that you were telling me about that was like several different layers of meta. That sounds
Oh,
like something
Star
that could
Ocean
be up my
3?
alley. Yeah.
Yeah, that one is probably my favorite one for its combat and for the story. I think it's a pretty well balanced entry.
Hmm.
I think Star Ocean 2 is good, but I just can't remember what happens story wise as much, except for the initial part where the character gets transported to another planet or time period.
Hmm. Interesting.
Aside from that, I can't remember much because I never got that far. I remember a character that had like dragons possessing his body and whatnot,
Cool.
or something like that, but I can't remember much else. And unfortunately, probably most people are all like, we don't even know what Star Ocean is. Well, I'm sharing my experiences with people, so I don't care.
Yeah, and the point of coming to this stream is, well, now you do know, and you can decide whether or not you want to do it.
Oh no, why does this always happen to Wild Arms too? The disc always gets loose.
Aw, that sucks.
Yep. But I'm going to move on to a different franchise now.
Okay.
Hopefully nobody minds, because I'm going to do that. And we're going to go into probably another one that has my favorite idea for a theme. That's not generic fantasy world. Wild Arms. This one.
This one I've heard of, but I know next to nothing about it.
You've heard of Wild Arms? That's good.
Yes, I have.
It's one of.
It before. I don't
It's
know
one.
from when.
Yeah, it's one of those franchises that not very many people know about or talk about anymore. Mainly because they stopped making games for it. But, that aside, Wild Arms, well, because, like I said, fantasy, science fiction is fun. That's why I like Star Ocean. Wild Arms, I like it because it's taking the idea of a Western and making it a role playing game. with a very cowboy-esque Western vibe going on
Ah,
with a mix of fantasy. I really do like that because I'm a fan of old westerns and whatnot. Because my dad loved John Wayne films, and I grew up on John Wayne films. So Wild Arms became, when I discovered it, it became one of those series that I fell in love with almost immediately because, like, oh, it's kind of a western because
mm,
the music is like a western. The fact that most of the characters in the game use something called the arm system, which is basically a gun,
mm,
makes it a western. And it just has that western vibe where it's like, oh, hey, look, it's kind of like prairie land and deserts and
mm.
mountains. It's not anything like Final Fantasy or anything where it's
It's it,
either
it's a shame. It's a shame John Wayne wasn't alive to give his voice acting talents to any of the characters.
well, also unfortunately most of the Wild Arms games don't have very much if any voice acting. That I think Wild Arms 4 did and 5, but I don't think 3 did. I know
Mm.
2 didn't because it's from the PlayStation 1 era and
Ah,
they there was very little voice acting. I don't know if this one Wild
mm.
Arms Ultra Code F. I don't know. Does this one? No, it has better graphics because this is a remake of Wild Arms 1. Might have. I think this one does have voice acting in it, but John Wayne was a true OG. Damn straight he was. Not gonna disagree with you there, Jay. But Wild Arms 2, actually, I'm gonna start with this one because this is the game that I played the ever loving crap out of, and I didn't know about this franchise until a few years into the PlayStation 1's lifespan. I I don't know. I can't remember if I've actually told the story of how I found this game, but what happened was I had a friend um, several several years ago where he was the same friend who would bring like games to my house, like Final Fantasy and whatnot, and his dad bought him this. It's the same copy. This is Wild Arms 2, and his dad bought him this, and he did not know what to do because this game also has puzzle elements like a Zelda game. Like outside of combat, there are puzzles to solve. And he got stuck in the tutorial mission or one of the very first missions, and he didn't know how to complete it. So he's like, "Hey, you want to take a shot at it?" I'm not like, "Yeah, sure, I'll give it a try," and I did, and I solved the puzzles, which weren't really that hard, surprisingly enough, especially not for the main characters, because they also the other thing that
Oh, so
while
your friend was getting in touch with his inner games journalist?
back before game journalists were actually gamers first and foremost. Um, but yeah, what was it? Um, One of the things that is interesting about Wild Arms is they have very early on in the game they give you a diverging path line where you get to pick one of the three characters and kind of get their backstory before you get to the main story.
Hmm.
And you could pick between the first three characters that's on this box. And I can never remember everybody's name, but I remember the main character's name is Ash, or Ashley, I should say, actually, because they call him Ashley. And then
Hmm.
there's a sorceress, and a former prisoner,
Hmm.
or a prisoner of war, or something to that nature. And but he was stuck on Ashley's uh, first puzzle, which is in
Hmm.
old ruins. And I thought it was kind of fun to. I liked the element of puzzle solving. I liked combat because
Hmm.
combat was pretty fun. It's a standard turn-based system, but it did have some interesting ideas like a focus system, which you gather enough energy to use special abilities,
Hmm.
and also had a bit of things like weapon management or no, not weapon management, ammo management, because some of the characters use guns, so they're limited in the type of ammo that they can use for special. Um, you need a gaming PC night. I know that, Jay. Please, somebody donate to my Ko-fi. I'm working on it. Hopefully, I'll have a job relatively soon, actually. And after I buy myself a new phone, that's probably the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to buy a gaming PC because I need a new PC anyway. So, yeah,
And you are frequently known as Nightwolf Games, so
yeah.
there's that.
I'm not going to sell my ass, Jay. Nobody would want it, trust me. Pretty positive on that one. Anyway.
Except maybe for someone who's like looking to Frankenstein a corpse together and is like, I need an ass.
Yeah, if that was the case, then sure. Yep, that keeps happening. Wild Arms 2's story was kind of interesting too. I thought it was a pretty fun balance of like kind of western to and like an old western and kind of like fantasy ancient sword because
Sword
what
and
was
sorcery is what you're thinking
yeah
of?
kind of like that, but more like sword sorcery and guns. um
Okay, so it's there's a setting in, I can't remember if it's D&D or Pathfinder, but it's called the Weird West. So it's kind of like that,
yeah, it would probably be like that
where you,
because they
where you can like where you, the cool thing about the Weird West is it's one of the few D&D or Pathfinder settings with guns, and you can actually apply like enchantments and spells and stuff to guns.
mm, yeah, I don't know if that they allow that you could. I don't think you could enchant the weapons exactly. They just were weapons. The thing that was interesting the most was Ashley was part of like I guess kind of like a small military group or like a recruitment group of some sort, kind of like police or something. I guess kind of like military police or something of that nature. And he's a recruit. And during the ceremony, when everybody is um, going to be sworn in, basically, and they have this little test where everybody tries to pull a sword from a stone that belonged to like some woman who was, I guess, a former hero or something to that nature. And well, somebody interferes. I can't remember the organization or the villains' names, but somebody interferes. Everybody who's in there turns into a monster, including Ashley. And he ends up having to fight his way through all the recruits. He touches the sword again, and I think the sword disappears from what I remember.
Mm.
And now he basically has the ability to turn into a black knight armored thing that goes berserk. And it's basically him trying to solve the mystery of how he could get back to normal, I think, more than anything, with the subplots with all the other characters.
Ah,
But I think that Wild Arms is very underappreciated, and I wish that people would have given it more of a chance.
hmm.
I'd be really happy if they revived the series, but I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Not popular enough.
No. Well, I mean, think about it. What are the most popular JRPG franchises that you can think of that have been long running and have stood the test of time and have never been canceled, basically?
Um, Final Fantasy is pretty much the only one off the
Well,
top of my head.
I can list some others: Final Fantasy, Shin Megami Tensei, Dragon Quest, Disgaea. The Tales of games are always highly popular. Um, what other ones? Well, I guess the Trails of series is also pretty popular. It's not as popular as some of the others, but it's still pretty popular. And I would say Final Fantasy, or not Final Fantasy, but Fire Emblem, but
Mm.
it's managed to survive this. It almost didn't survive. It almost lost everything, but
Mm.
because like during the 3DS era, they were because what was it? Fire Emblem Awakening was going to be the last game in the series. They were going to lose the company that makes it. Who was there? Intelligent Systems.
Mm.
Intelligent Systems was basically said this will probably be your last project. Make it a good one,
Yeah.
and they did. They made something highly popular, mainly because they played up the weeb factor way higher
Ah.
than they ever
Oh,
did before.
always a good idea.
It's like, oh, you like waifus and husbandos? Here you go. It's not like that
Have
hasn't.
all of the things.
It's not like that wasn't something that they already did in other games, but due to the 3DS's popularity and the fact that they really played up the whole pairing mechanic of, hey, get your characters to marry one another,
Hmm.
that certainly helped.
It's funny when you pander to the people that actually care about or care about your franchise and are actually part of your fan base, you do well. Who'd have thunk it in
I
current
know.
year?
Crazy, right? If you pander to the right audience, you can make money and save a franchise from death.
And you
And
can do it
that's
without ideologically selling yourself down the metaphorical river. Who
no,
knew?
just pander more to the weebs, because the weebs will eat that shit up. Most and also it probably helped out a lot too that they also added the extra ability of a casual mode where the units don't permanently die.
Hmm.
That was something that was always a hurdle for Fire Emblem because they've always had a permadeath feature for that franchise. Like good strategy, good tactics, but if your units die in battle, they stay dead
Hmm.
unless you reset. It's like, oh, you stretched your healer out too far, and they ended up getting whacked. Well, you're without a healer now, unless you reset the game and start over.
Sucks to
Oh,
be you. Bye.
oh, you overstretched your Pegasus Knight too far, and they got shut down by an archer. Well, sorry, boys, you're out of luck.
Hmm.
You're stuck. But yeah, adding that casual difficulty setting did help. From not selling myself, but no business skills and being heavily skilled at my skill. Well, that's good, Jay. And you own a tattoo shop. That's cool. I would not be a good employee for a tattoo shop. Sorry, man. Also, it would be a little bit out of my way. The commute would be a nightmare. That much I can guarantee. The commute would be disastrous.
Just having to go to like Ireland every time you visit the work.
Well, I think he lives in the UK. Actually, he's born in. I know he was born in Ireland, but he lives in the UK
Hmm.
somewhere. I think.
But still, you're on the West Coast, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm even further away from him. I'm closer to Japan than I am to the UK. Because I'd have to go the completely opposite direction. No
Hmm.
thanks, Jay. I'll pass. I love you, but I don't love you that much. And besides, I already have a job potentially lined up already. So, granted, yes, it's working for Walmart, but I really don't care at this point. I'll take whatever I can get. Some people may not like that. Actually, I think I heard that at the job fair I was at like about a month or so ago. I heard some kids like, they're a horrible corporate entity. It's like, and so are most of the people who you'll end up working for.
Yeah, it's like I only want to work for non-corporations. Well,
Good luck
there's
with that.
there's hmm. Yeah, no, good luck.
Yep, you're
Tumbleweed rolls by as they wait for a
could
non-corporate entity to show up.
could have made a grand. Well, a grand would be nice, Jay, but Like I said, it's a bit out of my way, don't you think?
Does it just, well, I suppose you could move
Probably,
to the
yeah, but it
UK.
probably cost me a couple grand just to live in that area, and I have family duties I have to care for here.
Hmm.
I gotta help pay bills here. What am I supposed to do? Forward the money to my mom? No, thank you. I'll pass. Sorry, Jay, but you're out of luck, man. You'll have to find a different employee. I'm sure you can find someone. Hire Flatmeister. He could probably use the money, and he lives closer. He could probably use the extra cash far more than I could. At least me. That's my personal opinion and take on it. Okay, but I feel you. Family always comes first. Exactly. That's my point. And it's good. Send money to your mother when she needs it. Supposed to take care of your family, your parents when they get older.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of them. They're precious. But I think that's pretty much it for Wild Arms. Oh wait, I have Wild Arms 3, but I didn't bring it down because I don't have a good box art for it because I bought it used. Wild Arms 3 was probably the most Western out of all of them because there were actually things that actually would fit with a Western setting. Like trains, for one,
Mm.
actual trains, and actual horseback riding. They
Mm.
actually have horses that you can ride, and you can even get into battles on horseback.
Neat.
Sometimes random encounters would happen, and you're riding on horseback the whole time, and it's like, this is freaking fantastic. I love this. Give me more of this. But unfortunately, no more. I think Wild Arms ended with the PSP. I think they made one game for the PSP, and then after that they were done, and they didn't make any more Final Fantasy, or not Final Fantasy, Wild Arms after that.
Hmm.
I don't even know if the company that made it is even still around, so I don't even know who owns the license. That's another thing I don't know. Actually, Wild Arms 2 doesn't even say who made it. All it says is PlayStation. It doesn't like have a company logo or anything on it. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see. Alter Code F says Age Tech. They're probably the last ones who probably owned the license, if I had to hazard a guess. No
Hmm.
machine gun or magic. No true Western. Did I say that there wasn't a machine gun? But also, Westerns don't have machine guns unless it's a Gatling gun.
Hmm.
And that's also more heading towards like the modernizing of the Western world
Mm-hmm.
when you start implementing that. That's like the age of outlaws coming to an end and whatnot. When you start implementing all those giant, massive Gatling guns and you're just using military and the military is after you and whatnot, that's kind of the end of the West, kind of when law and order became more of a common thing.
Hmm.
Hold on a second. Nope, no messages or anything. Okay. Um, you guys can give me a sec. I will be right back. Actually.
Okay. I will attempt to entertain the people. Okay. And in service of entertaining the people, I will open the chat so that I can see what people are saying as I attempt to entertain the people. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Live chat. There we go. Wait, your wife still wants to buy me, Jay? For those that aren't in on this particular conversation, somehow on I think it was when we were all still on Switch's Discord, there came a conversation where people were trying to buy me because apparently I don't have say in this. And so they were basically bidding on who got rights to me, and I didn't have any say over it. We get into weird things on Discord, like most people, I would imagine. Agreed, Jay, agreed. Discord is fun, but really without the drama. Very much without the drama. I am not so good at the Gundam franchise. Like I know like tangentially what happened in it, but it's never been a franchise that I have cared enough about to like maintain a encyclopedic knowledge of. I will say I want Guillermo del Toro to do a Gundam movie because if you've seen Pacific Rim, you know exactly why I want Guillermo del Toro to do a Gundam movie. Tell me that wouldn't be amazing, Guillermo del Toro doing a Gundam movie. Then you can tell her that that I'm doing fine and that I was better that she asked.
I'm back.
Huzzah.
What's going on?
Someone asked me a Gundam question and I deflected by rambling about how awesome a Guillermo del Toro Gundam movie would be. And now someone is trying to call me.
Oh.
Damn it.
You want to take that phone call?
Actually, yes, I might.
Go right ahead, man. You can always hop back on if that's what you want to. You can hop back on later if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I will be back later if you guys are still going. So I will.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna probably be going for a while because I still got other games to talk about. Probably.
Okay, right. So yeah, I will be back momentarily, or not momentarily, because it'll probably be a long conversation, but eventually.
Okay. Yep. All right. Well, I guess I'm flying solo for a while, guys.
Momentary cheers.
Cheers to you, Dalton. Okay. So, where was I? Uh, you watched the new Hellboy film, Jay? That's pretty cool. And you liked it? Cool. Glad you liked it. I have no real opinion on it. Hellboy's not my favorite franchise, but I did like the original two movies. But I don't know if I would like the new one. The choice to do a reboot to me was a little odd, but what are you gonna do? People do what they want to do, I guess. So we are talking about Wild Arms. I lost the only person who I was talking with, unfortunately, but that's okay. You'll effing slap me if I mock Hellboy. I'm not gonna mock Hellboy. Hellboy is a good comic book series, and the first two movies were really good. Why would I mock something that I think is good? It's just not my favorite. That's it. If it's your favorite, awesome, right? Everyone has their favorites. My favorite comic book character is Spider-Man. You know, not everybody likes Spider-Man though, right? Anyway, that's fine, Jay. You don't have to come on. That's totally okay, man. That's you know, I don't want to wake up the baby either. If she's sleeping, she needs a rest. She takes priority, my man. Take care of the baby. I can run a chat. Made it to the stream after all. Well, glad you could make it, Rabbit. I don't know if you can jump in on chat or on the stream itself because I don't know if there are people still yelling, but that's up to you. You can tell me and I can send the link or not. To be honest, she's a good sleeper. She takes after me. Well, that's good. Does that mean that you're a heavy sleeper, Jay? But anyway, and unfortunately, yeah, I didn't get a response back from Nerd Wonder either, which is I don't know. Maybe she's still driving or something. I don't know how far out she was when she went to that fair. So, or she might have crashed at home. Who knows? My God, Rabbit Sensei Gaming has showed up, and yes, I am a heavy sleeper. Totally okay. There's a lot of people who are. I'm somewhat of a heavy sleeper too. It's kind of funny actually. There used to be times like when me and my brother were kids, and we were like visiting out in Minnesota with family, and there were like these really massively huge thunderstorms that would like excuse me, that would hit like every once in a while. Like almost every time we visited, there was some storms going on during summer, and those thunderstorms were loud as hell. And I always slept through them. My brother didn't, but I did. If I remember correctly, actually, yeah, like my brother, when I wake him up, he like just like freaking freaks out when I wake him up. And I don't even have to yell or anything. Like if I go into his room and say, "Hey, bro, you gonna wake up?" And he's like, "Ah!" Oh, you messaged me about it on Twitter, on the twatters. Cops took them on. Sorry, I'm not gonna finish that sentence. That might be private. Freudian slip. I sent the link anyway, Rabbit, so you're free to jump in. To be honest, when it rains, I sleep like a baby. I mean, out in the UK, doesn't it rain most of the time anyway? So it's not like that's anything new, right? I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I know there's certain parts of the UK where it rains pretty much every day, or at least 90% of the time. Of course, that's kind of the same out here on the West Coast, too, where I live. It rains almost every week. Or at least we're well known for rain. Pretty much raining every day. Hello.
Hey there. So, did you see me coming?
You never see you coming.
Oh,
that's a good song.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
We could talk about Persona if you want.
I know nothing about it, so I probably won't be able to support any detail on that conversation there.
Well, that's true. I don't know very much about Persona either. I'm relatively new to it myself, actually.
Yeah, the only thing even similar to Persona that I've played is Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Sharp FE, as well as the original Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah, and those are up there in age. And if you've played Shin Megami Tensei, I think Persona isn't that much different than it, especially combat-wise, because Shin Megami Tensei is about like capturing demons, right?
Yeah, it's essentially demon Pokemon.
Yep. And then it's turns into a how do we play it? Rock, paper, scissors.
Sorta, yeah, sorta.
Well, because it's similar to Pokemon, everybody has a weakness.
True.
Yeah,
It's
so
very true.
Persona is pretty much the same thing.
Hmm.
It's different to an extent, but combat pretty much plays the same. Monsters have weak points, exploit the weak point in order to beat them.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't know if Shin Megami Tensei had anything like fusing the monsters.
That was one of the main things in Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah,
I can't remember which game it was that actually started in, but I think it was the first one where you could actually go ahead and my mind blanked on me. Sorry, where you could go ahead and fuse them together. At first, it was a little wonky to me, but then I got used to it pretty quick.
Yeah, Persona has pretty much all the same mechanics as Shin Megami Tensei. I think the only thing that's different about it that I'm aware of is the fact that one, it takes place normally in modern Japan.
Yeah.
At that point in time, and it also involves a school life and actually making connections and bonds with your teammates, basically.
Okay.
And basically, a life simulator mixed in with Shin Megami Tensei. That's kind of how I would describe Persona. It's a mixture of those two things.
Okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, do you like dating sims? Or do you like having a daily schedule of things that you have to do, or managing all your daily activities in school? And then on top of that, oh, hey, we have to fight these alternate dimensional demon things that keep popping up everywhere.
A metaverse, I'm guessing?
Kind of, because they don't treat it as like this is a normal occurrence. Normally it's some sort of mystery, like something is just happening.
Okay.
Because normally you're an ordinary Japanese high school student. It's like, I'm just living an ordinary life here. Don't mind me. I'm just a casually ordinary Japanese high school student, just minding my own business. Oh, what's that? I now have to contend with alternate dimensional beings.
Yeah.
And it normally just kind of just happens randomly without any real rhyme or reason that I could find. From the openings for both Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5, they all kind of start the same. You're just an ordinary student minding his own damn business. Next thing you know,
it hits the fan.
Shit hits the fan, and you're transported you're involved in this whole weird thing happening.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, I was just saying, yeah, actually.
Oh, okay. But, like, I don't have a physical copy of Persona 5. It is the one I've played the most. Because I do have it. I have it on my PS3. I bought it for, like, it was on sale. I bought it. I played it on my own time, and I got through, like, the first boss fight.
Oh, nice.
And normally, like, all of the dungeons and whatnot, it's one boss.
Oh.
One objective boss. Well, I think there are like other bosses in between mostly, but the objective is normally a time crunch. You have to get to a certain objective by a certain time.
Fair enough.
And you have to be strong enough to contend with the boss and to clear all of the floors of the dungeons.
Okay. So what I'm getting from hearing this is that Persona is sort of like the RPG elements of Shin Megami Tensei, but the visual novel elements of Catherine.
That might be an accurate description.
Okay, cool. All right, don't mind me. I'm just going to cover the label on this. Don't want to get you any copyrights.
What are we doing?
Oh, and just covering the label on this drink. It doesn't have any label on it. It's just drink. There we go.
Random drink.
Yes, random drink. The best of all sponsors.
Yep, please sponsor us, Random Drink Company.
Yeah, and Jay, I'm glad you like the headset. I haven't used the mic on it yet, though. I still mostly use this big old thing right here.
Yeah, but I do have a physical copy of Persona 3 right here, or the Persona 3 FES. which I think is the special version of it, which adds a whole bunch of extra stuff.
Ooh, that's nice.
70 hours, 30 plus hours of new content. Okay, yeah, so adds a bunch of extra stuff. Oh, the seed is still in here. Why is
The seed?
still?
Oh, receipt. I thought you said the seed. I was thinking, wait, you have a seed?
I have the seed system.
Oh,
Yeah!
so you're a coordinator. You're a coordinator. I understand now.
But yeah, Persona 3 is actually, out of all the Persona games that I've seen, I think 3 has probably one of the most darkest concepts I think I've ever seen.
Oh.
Because you probably noticed, I don't know if you know this, but all of the Persona games, when you summon the Persona, they do different things.
Yeah?
Persona 3's had probably the most messed up one.
Yeah.
Gun to head.
That's the thing of yeah, I understand why they changed that. They may have realized, this is sending the wrong message.
Yeah, maybe.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit, about that much.
Yeah.
Or about that much if you're counting the millimeters, but anyhow.
Yeah. That may have been why they kind of deviated a bit away from that. But
yeah.
I mean, each of them do cover some very dark and serious themes already, so...
Oh, yeah, I actually started watching the Persona 5 animation to try to catch up on the lore of it, and Jesus Christ, that first... Who I'm assuming is the first boss, the volleyball teacher.
Oh, yeah, he's the first boss in Persona 5.
Jesus, that was messed up.
Yeah, you think? It's pretty messed up, man.
Yeah,
and the other Persona games aren't any different. They're all messed up.
Yeah, I remember Shin Megami Tensei original being a little dark because they were just starting out.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, cool. Looks like Joker is very much like the original Shin Megami Tensei character because he can have multiple daemons with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, okay, so it's not going to be too dark. It's going to be a little dark, but now we get to why the...
Well, that really took a dark turn. We went from, I just have to handle all this nonsense and bullshit. Oh, wait. The volleyball teacher is a sick, twisted bastard, and now I have to contend with students committing suicide.
Yeah. Also, hello, David. How you doing?
Hey, David. How you doing, man?
But, yeah, it's just... And if it was just the student that tried jumping off the building, it would have been a thing of, okay, that's pretty dark, but I've seen darker. But no, they went the full 9 yards. They went to the student jumped off the building because the volleyball teacher, was a sick bastard who beat up on students and then sexually assaulted the female students. A thing of, what the crap? Sometimes both at once.
Yeah, he's a twisted bastard.
That's the thing of whenever they said, okay, stealing his heart or what his heart is currently like could kill him. It's a thing of, and
your point, and I care why.
Exactly. Oh,
aside from the fact that we might be implicated in murder, but
at that point, I think it's justified.
Yeah, but no one else was willing to admit that he had done anything wrong.
Yeah, but no one else would have known either. It's all in the metaverse.
Well, no. There was things happening, but it's the fact that the parents knew about it.
Oh, the parent? Wow.
The faculty knew that something was up.
I knew the faculty knew that something was up, but... And
the parents probably knew too, because it's like, well, your kids come home with bruises and stuff. You got to know something's going on.
Your kid now has a baby.
Yeah. I don't know if it got that far, but yeah, if something like that happened, you might want to start questioning things.
Yeah.
You're currently watching Cybuster, El Hazard, Macross Plus. I also watched Macross Plus starring Bryan Cranston. Okay.
Wait, Bryan Cranston was in... I was about to say, I think we had the same question there.
Wait, hold on.
Suddenly you have the urge to watch Macross Plus. Did I just say Prus instead of plus?
Our last said hello. P.S. She wants me to go to bed. Well, if she's telling you to go to bed, Jay, maybe you should go to bed. Just throwing it out there.
Hey! Now Jay's a strong, independent man who don't need no lady. I had to. I'm sorry.
It was a necessity. It had to be done.
At least once a stream.
Actually, I think that one of the... Oh, he played Isamu.
Oh, cool. Yeah, okay, I gotta watch Macross Plus then.
Oh, it's been ages. But I forgot. Yeah, he did a lot of voice actor work way back in the day. I mean, he voiced several Power Ranger villains.
This is true. This is true. Also, I feel a sneeze coming on, so I apologize if one sneaks up on us.
It happens.
Yeah.
I thought I didn't really get that far into Persona 3 yet. I've gotten further in Persona 5.
Yeah, I heard that in Persona 3 you actually can't give commands to your allies.
No, you can't. They kind of function on their own, and the same goes for 5.
Okay, so it's a thing of just make sure you have the right kinds of ally in your party.
Oh, wait, no, hold on. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe you do. Oh, wait, no, I think you do control them in 5, I think. It's been a while since I played it. Because I only got as far as the first boss, and then I started playing around in the...
And the Mementos?
In the second... No, I passed through Mementos.
Okay.
And then I started the second basic story arc. And...
Okay. Yeah, I need to get on that game sometime soon. Also, catch you later, Jay. Have a good one.
Bye, Jay. Have a good night. We'll see you in the next one, probably.
That sneeze is a coming. I can guarantee you that sneeze is coming.
Well, then sneeze, damn it.
You know, I sort of wish I could. I sort of wish it would let me just do it right now, but it's one of those things where you feel it right here in the back of your nose, and this says, I'm going to wait here for the next 30 minutes.
Ah.
You know, one of those types of sneezes that'll just be there and bother you for a while.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I don't have very much to say about Persona other than the fact that I think it's a really good series that I need to spend more time with.
Likewise. Now, here's my question to you. What's your preferred type of JRPG? Classic, strategy, or action?
I think it's a combination between strategy and action. I like action-based ones because it's normally really easy to, pick up, play, and just, get... Because it's more interactive and the combat doesn't feel as grindy.
Yeah.
Because you're actually interacting and actually doing something other than
So what you're saying is you want to play Dark Souls.
Bite me. No. I would rather play Star Ocean or Kingdom Hearts or the Tales of games. No, I'm not going to play. No Dark Souls. You've seen my Bloodborne playthrough, man. You know what happened.
Yeah, though to be fair, after playing through Bloodborne myself, yeah, I feel bad for recommending that one to you first. So if you ever play Dark Souls, I will be the one to buy it for you.
Okay. I will consider it. Maybe.
Yeah, because I do think Dark Souls Remaster is probably the best one to start into now because they balanced it out to where it's not as janky and stiff. But at the same time, it's still got a nice flip. It's difficult, but it's not super fast and in your face.
Yeah. Crybuster is based on Super Robot Wars. Oh, I have a Super Robot Wars TV series that I bought several years ago. I never finished it, but it was interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
Of that, I was going to say, speaking of that, I also need to finish the Super Robot Wars game because I recently got one. Actually, this isn't it, but I also recently got this right here, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Have not started it yet.
Yeah,
everyone
that's gonna take some time.
Everyone tells me that because I keep on saying, you know what, I'm gonna do a video series on this, or maybe a live stream. Everyone goes, do a live stream.
Yeah, that's normally preferred. There's a lot of RPG games out there that will just take you way too long.
Yeah. I should have learned my lesson with Tokyo Mirage Sessions because
like there's some that I think are manageable and you could work with, but games like Persona and others, it's like due to the amount of grind that's involved, live streaming them is preferred over just normal Let's Play.
Agreed.
Because there's just so much shit that you have to do, and there's so much things in between especially in Persona. It's like it's not only do you have to fight in the dungeons, grind and level the characters, and try and acquire stronger personas, but you have to contend with your daily routine too on top of that. So it's a lot of micromanagement.
Okay.
Like, do I do a part-time job to get money? Do I interact with my classmates or my team members? Do I train certain abilities and personality qualities I have?
Oh.
Decisions, and you only have a set amount of time during the day to do all of that.
Fair.
So, yeah, it's a lot of micromanagement.
Well, okay then. You know what? That actually does sound more like my cup of tea. But that is definitely a live stream series then.
Yeah, considering of all the micromanagement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're going to spend a good amount of time not even in the dungeon. You're just going to be doing daily stuff like, oh, hey, I'm going to go to work. Hey, I'm going to go hang out with a classmate. Or hang out with somebody who has an affinity for one of the personas. Because in order to make stronger personas, you have to become friends with all these different people.
So what you're saying is you're going to smash.
Well, if you're interested in smashing all the random people that you're going to talk to, because not everybody you interact with is a teammate.
Ooh.
Or a woman.
I know some people who are into that. Anyhow.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh. But most of the characters that not everybody you interact with is or who has a what do you call it? A persona that they have an affinity with. Not all of them are playable characters.
Yeah, and one of them is an inkling.
What?
I said, and one of them is an inkling.
Well, I remember, what was it? I think in Persona 4, one of them is your cousin. It's a little girl. And I think there's another little girl that you interact with too that's also part of a different Persona line, but I can't remember.
Okay. In other words, those are for the people in Arkansas. I'm just throwing out. I'm just being snarky today. I don't know why.
Call the police. We gotta protect the lollies. But yeah, I know that sometimes those are some of the people you interact with. I think that I can't remember in which one, but sometimes you interact with like an old man or an old lady who owns a shop, and they have a line for a certain type of persona.
Okay.
But man, I'm having a tough time remembering. Favorite Tales game? Are we talking about Tales of or the Tales?
I think it's Tales of game because that's what most people call the Tales games. Because I'm gonna be honest, I've only ever gotten the chance to play through one of them, and that was Tales of Destiny on the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
And yeah,
FBI open up.
But yeah, Tales of Destiny, I liked it. I was playing a second player for my buddy Josh while he did the run around, and we didn't get to finish it because there is a soft lock glitch in that game where if you go up into a dungeon and you get to a certain point and you saved after that moment, you miss out on a key event that you're supposed to go down onto the surface for to talk to somebody to make it to where you can continue on with the story.
Right.
So we soft locked the game. We could not continue. The world was doomed.
If I were to pick a favorite, I haven't played very many of them. I think the first one I ever played was Tales of Symphonia for the GameCube because my brother rented it.
Yeah.
That one's a really good one. It's really fun. I don't have a whole lot of memory of it. Favorite one that I have played on my own, I would probably say Tales of Xillia, actually, which is this one.
Okay.
I love this one. It's one of my favorites. But I also have this one, Tales of Grace's F, which is also pretty darn good.
Ooh. Now, here's my question. Which one is the sequel to Berseria?
What was Tales of Berseria's? I think sequel is the one that came before it.
So Vesperia?
Yeah, Tales. No, not Vesperia. What was it called? Hold on.
Tales of something.
Tales of word that no one can pronounce.
I mean,
Tales.
I mistook Extella for Extello for the longest time. So
Yeah, let's see. Tales of Vesperia. No, Tales of Vesperia isn't. Oh wait, yeah, Tales of Vesperia is older. That was one that only came out for the Xbox and only recently came out.
Okay.
Oh, here it is. Tales of Zestiria is the one you're thinking of.
Okay.
That's the one that's related to Tales of Berseria.
Yeah. From what I've heard, they're actually all technically sequels to each other or prequels to each other because they all share the same timeline, but it's just at different intervals, hundreds of thousands of years, something like that.
That could be it. All of the stories are kind of individual in their own right, so they all don't.
So they don't rely heavily on the others.
Yeah,
Good.
because
Good.
like Tales of Grace's F is completely different world and different people, countries. The art system is different than Tales of Xillia.
Okay.
They're all different. They all kind of live in their own world, kind of, in my opinion.
Very good to know.
So you can pick up any of them and just play them. I think that Berseria and Zestiria are the only ones that have some form of connection that I'm aware of.
All right. Yeah,
at least of the modern ones that I can think of.
Yeah, the main reason I asked is because a couple months back, I actually got Berseria on sale on Steam for about $2.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, I couldn't pass it up.
Yeah, I think you could probably just play Berseria on your own. Because I think the stories are separated enough that they don't interconnect too much, even though it has connections to Zestiria.
Okay.
I don't know how much of a connection they have.
But yeah, you said you enjoy both tactic and action RPGs more when it comes to JRPGs.
Yeah.
My thought is then you'd probably really love the Project Cross Zone games.
I think I've played demos of them, but I haven't played them very much.
Yeah, because pretty much the way they play is on the overworld map that moves around like a tactics RPG, sort of like how Fire Emblem you move around, you're within range of things to attack. But then when it comes to combat, you're actually doing button inputs, sort of like a fighting game.
Yeah.
So
because earlier in the stream when Dalton was here, I was talking about Final Fantasy Tactics, and it's my favorite Final Fantasy game ever.
Yeah.
Even though it's not a main game, it's just a side game.
Yeah, it's just a side story.
It's goddamn fantastic. Story-wise and combat-wise is fun.
Agreed. I just hope that when they eventually port War of the Lions to Steam and everything else like they've been saying they're going to do, that it will be optimized. Because on the PSP, apparently it ran very poorly.
Yeah, I heard that. I mean, also, hey, Fire Emblem. We like Fire Emblem.
Oh, how far have you gotten in Echoes, by the way?
I don't know. I it's possible I might be reaching the end. I don't know for sure. But this one, out of all of the modern Fire Emblem ones, has been my favorite one.
Oh yeah, by far.
Because Awakening is fun, but it's pretty cliche and by the book.
Yeah.
And Fate's
Treehouse,
is a mess.
Yeah, Treehouse messed that up because no joke, with Fire Emblem Fates, it's only the English translated version that got screwed up. Because the Japanese version, there's pages more dialogue and story in there, whereas in the Treehouse translated version, you know, all those times where they just put ellipses on screen for a few moments.
Yeah, for certain characters and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pages of dialogue cut from the game that actually would have given more boon to the story.
Yeah, and that was kind of disappointing.
Yeah,
but I'm kind of glad that this one didn't suffer the same problem.
Yeah, well, by the time Shadows of Valentia was coming out, they fired Treehouse. So
yeah,
I don't blame them.
Nobody can blame them for that. They had to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
They can't let that type of localizing happen again.
Agreed.
I mean, I've played a lot of the older one. I've played some of the older games, but not that much. So, I mean, I like Ike.
We like Ike. We like Ike.
Speaking of strategy-based games, there are a couple more over here.
Oh.
Hold on a second. There's a couple more here. How about Disgaea?
Ooh, now that's a good one.
This one's fun. I like this one not so much for the combat is pretty fun because it's over the top and ridiculous, but
Yeah.
it's like all these weird animations of oh my god, look at me murder so many things, which is hilarious. I also just really love the comedy
Yes.
that the characters have. It's just such a charming game to play.
Mhm.
I should get back to it at some point.
Yeah, you got to kill my unit somehow. Yeah.
I think I already did that when I was playing it. Remember?
Yeah.
I think I brought him once, and he died almost immediately because there are no levels. Thankfully, the characters don't stay permanently dead, but it's very hard to use the thief when I don't know what I'm doing.
Fair enough.
But Disgaea is a good series, especially if you like humor and comedy,
Oh yeah.
with some over-the-top, crazy, zany action with the strategy combat. This one,
Oh, I know how much you love Valkyria.
I do. This is the PS4 version, the Steelbook.
Yeah. How much smoother does the PS4 version run compared to the PS3?
Oh my god, it's a goddamn dream. Because you remember the load times?
Yes, I do.
Because I think that when I played through it, I think I left some of those in from time to time. Dear freaking Lord, that was like about 5 minutes almost, or well, maybe not quite 5 minutes. I think that's an exaggeration. I think it was like at least 2 to 3 minutes of loading almost on any given map.
Ooh.
This runs so much better.
Well, hey, at least it's not Anthem levels of bad when it comes to loading.
Good point. Good point.
I mean, did you see the comparison? Anthem actually takes longer to load on PC than Sonic 06.
Oh my god. That is terrible.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. What was it? I mean, you could buy Valkyria Chronicles remastered on the PC as well, so you don't even need to buy the PS4 version. You just buy it on Steam.
But physical is always more fun.
Physical is fun. I need to get Valkyria Chronicles 4 eventually. That's one that I intended on buying, but I kind of skipped out on because I didn't have the money to buy it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, money is always a tight situation.
Yep. Especially considering I wanted to buy the special edition because I wanted the little model tank.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted the little tank model that came with it. I don't know. Hold on. I'm going to go look this up right now, actually.
All right. Well,
let's find out how much it would cost me.
Okay. While you're searching that up, since you like action RPGs and strategy stuff, what are your thoughts on the .hack games? Have you played any of them?
Oh, it's been ages since I played those. I remember playing them like, what time did I play them at?
I can guarantee you it was the beginning 2000s. So.
Yeah. It has been a very long time. I liked them when I played them. But other than that, I don't know. It's just kind of...
It's fuzzy.
Memory is fuzzy.
Fair enough, yeah. I actually first started getting to the .hack games back when I was still in junior high at the time.
Yeah. I was probably in high school still or out of high school by that point.
Yeah. It's just, they came out at a good time, and to this day, they're still one of the only franchises out there to actually do the same thing that Pokemon did, where they were able to have a TV show, books, a card game, video games, and have everything still work together fluidly, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that much. I remember that one of the .hack games that I did buy, that it had like a movie in it.
Oh, yeah. That was probably one of the first 4 then, because they had the Liminality DVDs.
Yeah, it had a DVD where you got to play through a story. It didn't play through a story. It was kind of just like this weird murder mystery thing going on.
Mhm.
That's all. That's what I remember from Dot Hack. Other than that, you'd be barking up the wrong tree to ask me about anything else because I can't remember.
So what you're saying is we need to get you play the Dot Hack GU trilogy on your channel.
Dude, do you know how many games that I have on my library and docket that I have not touched? You give me any more games, I'm gonna just be like, you know what? Screw it. This is no longer a gaming channel at all. It's 100% no. There's so many games that I need to finish that I haven't finished that I started work on but didn't. Like, let's see, Spider-Man. Recently started Red Dead Redemption, mainly because that one I have to finish because a friend is letting me borrow it, and eventually he'll probably ask for it back. So I want to try and finish that.
Fair enough.
I can finish Spider-Man anytime, but
Yeah.
I should probably. That was kind of my thought process. Was I was going to go back and play both of those games. Spider-Man will be here on YouTube. Red Dead will be on Twitch, but I'll be, sending the VODs later.
Okay.
Because I have the VODs for Chapter 1 already ready to go. They're just not uploaded yet.
Fair enough.
And if I do render those out again, trust me,
you're going to cry.
It's going to be the last thing I do when I'm editing, because dear freaking Lord, that took like half a day.
Oh.
Because the stream was about almost 2.5 hours. I cut some of it out, but rendering it out on hit film took like over 6 hours.
Ooh.
And that hurt my soul.
Ooh, yeah. I can understand.
So yeah, that could take some time, and those will probably be the last things I render out, because I got other videos that I have planned that I need to work on. I know that eventually. So right now, currently, what I'd like to do, finish Spider-Man and finish Red Dead. I don't know what I'm going to do with Kingdom Hearts 3, because my friend also let me borrow that. So I don't know if I'm going to stream that or not, or if that's just something I'm going to play on my free time by myself.
Okay.
I haven't decided that yet, because I don't know what's blocked and what isn't. Yeah. So.
Oh, well, knowing Disney, probably everything's blocked.
Yeah, Disney, Square Enix. They're very strict with Kingdom Hearts. So.
Yeah. I mean, did you hear that the whole reason why Cloud doesn't have Final Fantasy music from Final Fantasy VII isn't in Smash Brothers, as well as Cloud not having this English voice actor for it, is because Disney technically owns part of Cloud now due to Kingdom Hearts.
Oh my god!
And yeah, they said no. So all these people thinking Sora for Smash Brothers, they ain't gonna get it.
Yeah,
Disney's the one stopping them, not Square Enix.
Yeah. I can believe that. Speaking of Kingdom Hearts, I did bring Kingdom Hearts 2 down with me.
Ooh.
This one was probably my favorite action RPG that I ever played, because this is one of the few ones I actually finished.
Ooh, even more so than Zelda?
Yeah. I haven't finished every Zelda game. Only I finished Ocarina of Time. I don't think I finished Twilight Princess. I was kind of close to doing so, but I kind of got I was distracted by other things, shinier things.
Ooh,
so, shiny things.
but yeah, I'm just gonna. This is bugging me. My hair was getting right up in my eye.
But yeah, I liked Kingdom Hearts 2. I think that it had basically one of the best combat systems for any of the games. Because one's combat was janky, and then the only other game after that was the
card game one.
Yeah, the card one, which that combat was kind of all over the place and not nearly as fun.
Yeah, but still an interesting concept.
Yeah, the re Chain of Memories, the one for the PS2, I think is better than the Game Boy Advance one. Better depth of field, and I think because that one I actually finished. I never finished the GBA version.
Fair enough. Yeah, the GBA version, even I tried playing that one, and I just couldn't get into it because as you said, the depth of field just was not there.
Yeah, it's just too hard to understand the depth and the field of where things are going and where things are flying at you, especially during final boss fights.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played the hell out of this one, and this is the first copy, the original copy that I have.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is the one that I pre-ordered back in the day.
Nice.
If anybody wants proof and evidence of how much I've played this.
Oh, jeez. I can see it all around the edges. Yeah, you definitely got use.
Yeah, I hurt this thing. I damaged it. Of course, I wasn't the only one who played it. Other friends played it too.
Here.
But yeah, I played the shit out of this. I think this is one of the few games where I think I almost 100%ed it.
Oh, wow.
Almost. Not quite. Because there were a few mini games and whatnot that I did not finish. But almost everything else I completed.
Nice.
I even completed the Coliseum.
Isn't the final boss the Coliseum Sephiroth or something like that? No, that's the first one, isn't it?
That's in the first one.
Okay.
And those were side bosses that you unlocked after completion of the game. And I never finished those. There were only some of them that I managed to beat, which I think were the two Titans. Oh, wait, no. The one Titan and the boss in Agrabah. The hidden boss in Agrabah. Gotcha. I didn't beat the one in Peter Pan because screw that guy. Because he casts instant death.
Ooh.
And you can only hit him with magic. It's the only way to fight him. And you have to match him based on whatever color he is.
Oh, God.
So it sucks. It just genuinely sucks. And due to the fact that your AI partners do whatever the hell they want, it's not fun. And also, fuck Sephiroth.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because he is a dick.
Oh, yeah. But
he was bad in the first one. I could beat him in the second one. First one? No.
Yeah, from what you're saying, the controls are better, so that might also help a little bit.
He was still a dick, but he was a more manageable dick. He still had that move where he takes pretty much most of your health.
Oh, God. Okay, so I'm sorry, but we're now changing your Tuesday stripper name to Manageable Dick.
My what?
Your Tuesday stripper name.
No thanks. I will pass. But screw Seth off. But at least he was more manageable in this one. I could actually beat him.
Fair enough.
And not have to be max level to do so either. I beat him, I think, at level 75, I think, or level 69 or something like that.
Well, it is the magic number.
Because I had the strategy guide and it had a recommended level to fight him, and I beat him on the recommended level, but I can't remember what the recommended level was. I can't remember, but I beat most of the secret bosses and whatnot, and I had all the Keyblades that were available.
Fair enough. Oh, so you had the Omega Weapon Keyblade then?
Yep.
That definitely helped.
Yeah, I got the Ultimate Weapon, and I got a bunch of others. I never used all of them. I think the one that I used for most of the final combat one is the one you got from Sephiroth. Because it had the most damage output.
Yeah, well, not to mention you earned that, so...
Well, beating Sephiroth, but also, I think you get it from... I don't think you get it from Cloud. I think you get it from Tifa, if I remember correctly.
Isn't that the one that just looks like a car key or something like that?
No, it looks like Cloud's Buster Sword.
Oh, okay. I thought one of them looked like a car key.
That's possible. It's a Keyblade.
Yeah, fair enough.
A lot of them look weird.
This is true. I mean, I've never really thought of a Keyblade as a blade as much as I thought of it as a key beating stick.
Yep, pretty much. It's not very much of a blade. It's more like a beat stick, of just like swinging a bat and hitting things with it.
Which does work. It does work.
Yep.
Oh, but you talking about an enemy that cast instant death a moment ago actually remind me of something.
Yeah.
Okay, have you ever played Phantasy Star?
I remember playing one for the PS2, but other than that, I never played very much Phantasy Star.
Okay, well, in Phantasy Star, there is a spell called Megid that one-shots you no matter how much HP you have.
Right.
Well, I was playing Phantasy Star Online, episodes 1 and 2 on the GameCube back in the day. And, I had beaten normal, I'd beaten hard, I'd beaten expert. I was on ultimate difficulty. So I was thinking, all right, let's go in. I see this plant thing that's just a normal plant. It normally spits acid at you and stuff like that. And I'm going, all right, one plant down, one plant down, one plant down. And then I turn to go hit another one. And suddenly I see this black orb come flying at me real quick. And I just die like that. And immediately I just stop, set the controller down, turn to my buddy and go, did it just cast Megid? Because sure enough, in the final difficulty, everything knows that move.
Wow. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, I found out how much the special edition for Valkyria Chronicles is.
Yeah?
It's $100.
That's surprisingly not that bad.
Yeah, I think it was a bit more when it first came out because the game is now a few months old now. I think it came out sometime last year, so I think it came out in fall? Question mark?
Yeah, I think it was, because wasn't that around the time that you streamed the demo?
Yeah, I streamed the demo, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which was fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through some of the other collection stuff that's over here.
Hmm.
How about this old PS1 game, which was the only one that we didn't talk about?
Digimon World 2?
Yep. This one is a weird one. But I love it at the same time. I have fond memories of Digimon World 1 and 2. Digimon World 2 is more
traditional.
Well, yeah, it's traditional, but also at the same time it was weird because like the evolution system was weird. Because in order to get certain creatures, they had to have a certain level of fusions. And I always had, when I played the game and whatnot, it's like, oh, hey, I can fuse this one and get this creature. But then it takes the creature to a completely different line that I didn't want it to take.
Ooh. Yeah. That has always been one issue with some of the Digimon World games, except for 3. They always made it a little bit more difficult to figure out how to get the Digivolution you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. They did. This one, personally, I didn't like the system very much because, like, in order to get what you want, you have to fuse a set amount of times, and that takes a lot of time. Like, oh, you want to get Omnimon? Well, you gotta DNA Digivolve him like over 20 times. Gotta do it 20 plus, I think, yeah, about 20 times, and you can get Omnimon.
Jeez. That's, yeah, I'll go with another unit.
Yeah, also, the Digimon are also level capped, so when you catch wild Digimon, they're level limited. They can only go so far. So fusion is a necessity. You have to fuse them in order to get them to higher levels. And that was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And also it was the whole trying to capture them, because you have to shoot gifts at them. You have to pay for gifts to give to the creatures in an attempt to catch them. And there's also no guarantee that you can get them to join your team.
As soon as you said shoot gifts at them, I just imagined a Digimon tamer putting on a Santa outfit and loading a square-shaped shotgun with both barrels full of presents. Just, you're coming with me.
Well, you're not that far off, considering that this entire game you play inside of what they call a Digibeetle, which is a little tiny vehicle. In the dungeons, you drive around in a little tiny vehicle the entire time. That you also have to upgrade.
So you have a sleigh.
Yeah, pretty much. Here comes Digisanta. Here comes Digisanta. I guess.
Yeah.
Didn't I? That was some of the. And there's like booby traps and barriers that block you and all sorts of
Now-
shenanigans and bullshit.
Mm.
On top of fighting all the Digimon.
Oh man. So it had more difficulty, but it was also sort of balanced by being brought back to being more of a classic style RPG.
Yeah.
Mm.
I personally, the first Digimon World game I liked a little bit more because it was more like actually training and raising an animal.
Yeah.
Taking them to the bathroom, training them at the gym, feeding them.
Yeah.
All of that stuff.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too. The only problem I had with the first Digimon World as well as Digimon World Next Order, your Pokemon dies and becomes an egg again.
Yep. The Digimon dies, it becomes an egg, and you start from square one all over again.
Yeah. Anytime that happens, I just think, I did not press the delete key.
Yeah, well, it happens. Imagine doing that in Digimon World 1. It's even more difficult.
Oh, yeah. Especially with those pre-rendered backgrounds where you don't know what's actually an item sometimes.
That does make it difficult.
Oh, and then
I mean, I played Digimon World 1 a lot, and when because my friend we were playing it, I think my friend lent it to me, and he's like, he had already been playing the game for several hours, and he had never gotten an Ultimate Digimon, because at that point, that was as far as a Digimon would evolve into, and I was playing on my own file and just having a good old time, kind of just learning and practicing and kind of getting the hang of things. And this was my first one too, by the way. This isn't like third, fourth try. This is the first one I was raising. And I missed the bathroom once, which is not good because if they at least
did you get Golden Numamon?
No.
Okay.
But no, because if they get to if they don't make it to the bathroom at least twice, because that'll will affect their virus code and they'll turn into Numamon or Sukamon or whatever. I didn't, however. I missed one bathroom, and I was just randomly playing, minding my own business, and I'm like, oh, he's digivolving again, because it was a Greymon. And he's like, trust me, dude, you're going to be getting a Numamon or something. I'm like, are you sure about that? It's like, yeah.
Oh, please tell me Skull Greymon. Please tell me Skull Greymon.
No, I got Metal Greymon.
Oh, even better.
He's like, what the hell? Like, what the hell, man? It's like, how did you do that? It's like, I don't know. I was just minding my own business. I was just kind of doing my own thing, learning how to play the game. Look, here we are, Metal Greymon, just marching along, happy as can be, shooting giga missiles at people.
So what you're saying, but you didn't say to his face, is you're a better tamer than him.
I didn't do it on purpose.
As I said.
I was just, I don't know, dumb luck, I guess. Luck of the draw. Well, I know that in that game it was dependent on other things like what you taught them, like what stats you improved would determine what Digimon you got, and also like affection, discipline, what other things? Their weight. Also was a determining factor. I don't know. Maybe all of those correlated stats just ended up making a Metal Greymon.
Yeah, it's actually the same way in Digimon World Next Order. You have to worry about their weight, their virus level, and all that stuff too.
Yep. I actually have that game too.
Oh, nice.
I
still need to get back to that one too, because I was streaming it for a bit and then I stopped because I was going, my God, the grind.
Yep. I found it like on sale for like really cheap. I think I paid like maybe $7 for it.
Nice.
And I was like, I should pick this up because it's similar to the original Digimon World. But we also still have this one too.
Yes.
This still needs to be played.
Yeah, from what I understand, you're actually pretty near the end.
How could I be near the end? I'm like only in like the first.
Oh wait,
chapters.
sorry, my memory blanked. I mean, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not that far in, but this is something I should get back to at some point.
That's what she said. Anyhow.
Funny. You're a funny guy. Ha 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 ha. Hee hee. Ho ho.
Well, my dad always told me that puns were like diarrhea. It runs in my genes.
Oh, that was terrible.
I had to. I'm sorry.
Smack. Smack a bitch. Particularly
Okay.
good. Oh yeah, there's also this. I brought down Dragon Quest IX.
Ooh. I've actually not heard many things about Dragon Quest IX. What do you think about it?
This is it's pretty fun, but it doesn't really have a lot of character or story of its own.
Mm.
Mainly, you create your own party and you create your own character,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just the chosen one, and you're trying to save a tree.
Okay, so you're going around and your teammates are going, Chosen one! I'm coming.
They don't even talk.
Oh, so you lucked
'Cause-
out.
Yeah, you build your own team. You can build everybody. You get to customize them however you want, appearance and everything. And you're some sort of angel, I guess, who's a guardian angel, I guess, and the tree falls apart, and it's up to you to try or the fruit from the tree falls off the tree and lands on Earth, and you have to go and collect it.
So what you're saying is that's what starts off Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah, let's go with that. But this is a pretty fun game, too. I like that it has a really good class system where you get to customize and pick whatever classes you want your party to have. It is highly customizable, so you can have whatever experience you want to have.
Yeah, that's always a fun time. That's why I like the original Final Fantasy, to be honest. Just because you make your own party, you go on an adventure and just have fun. And then whenever Josh goes down for the 50th time, you give him the bird and revive him again.
Yeah, pretty much.
I may or may not have some
bones to pick with.
Yeah, just a little bit. He was my thief.
Well, there's your problem right there. You picked a thief class.
Yeah. At least when he became a ninja, things got better.
At least there's that. But yeah, although the one thing I do remember from playing Dragon Quest IX is that some of the classes are locked behind quests, and some of those quests are a pain in the ass to complete.
Fair enough.
I spent a lot of time to do that. I even eventually I bought the guide so that I would hopefully be able to complete it, or so that I could get some of those jobs.
Fair.
And I still don't think I have all those jobs yet.
But yeah, talking about all these JRPGs, it just makes me wish more and more that we had another JRPG MMO, because we had Phantasy Star Online and Phantasy Star Online 2, which never came out to the West, which I'm still salty about. I am still salty about that because it was advertised here in the US. It never happened.
Yeah.
But since that never happened, I'd like to see Square Enix actually give us a Star Ocean Online.
That I would be okay with. There's a lot of potential to make one of those, especially considering that they've been sucking at making normal games for the franchise.
Well, that's Square for you in general right now.
Yeah. 4 and 5 are not good. Well, I don't know very much about 5. Yeah. I know 4 is not very good. Combat is solid, but the characters are not my favorites. Except for, I don't know, maybe Raimi is the only one that I like. But that's because I have a thing for brunettes, and that's probably the only reason.
I don't blame you. I'm the same way with the characters that have the red.
Well, let me see. Because I showed the game earlier. Where is it? Yeah, I showed the game earlier in the stream. Oh, there it is. Because I have it. There it is. There's Star Ocean 4.
Ah, okay.
And yeah, she's probably the only saving grace for characters. Because I can't remember any of the other characters barely. And I don't like Edge.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Edge is an annoying little prick. He's prototypical JRPG protagonist, number 1027.
So he started off with amnesia?
No. He's the peppy, oh, hey, let's go get him attitude. Like, I'm an annoying little shit with an annoying voice actor who's really peppy and upbeat. And I'm like, okay, I don't mind you being peppy and upbeat, but you're killing me with the upbeatness.
Now. Hey, don't be dissing Peppy hair like that. He's more slippy than Peppy.
He's just too optimistic and too damn stupid.
Yeah.
It's like he's that prototypical protagonist of I'm awesome. I know what to do. I'm looking forward to punching you in the face or some nonsense. I'm like, okay, tone it down a couple dials, bro. Just tone it back a bit. Okay.
So you mean he's the character that's normally the side character in most JRPGs these days?
No, he's normally the one that is the main protagonist for a lot of those older RPGs. You know, the ones. I'm pretty sure you know the one. You know, he's the spiky haired protagonist, blonde hair, wants to save the world and whatnot, and his motivations are pretty bare bone basic.
Yeah.
He's very generic. That's his problem. He's generic, and his English voice actor bothers me because he's kind of annoying.
Yeah,
no offense to the voice actor, because I'm sure he's done better work, but dear freaking Lord.
The direction, yeah.
His direction for that one, not good, bad.
Yeah.
From what I remember. Combat, though, is really good in it, but...
So what you're saying is take the combat of it and give it a different story.
And give it a better story, or at least better characters. The story itself is okay. The main premise is of finding some lost ships that were on course to chart unknown space, which is a good premise for the story. The problem is that the characters just aren't very likable.
Fair enough.
Because I can't even remember anybody else in the party. Except for appearances, I can't remember their motivations as characters.
Well, that speaks leagues right there.
Of course, it has been a while, but still, that's not good if you can't leave a good impression.
Yeah. I mean, I remember the last Star Ocean game I played, I think it was the third one, Till the End of Time or something like that.
That would be this one.
Yes. That one actually threw me for a loop near the end whenever they all became sentient about the fact that they're video game characters.
Yeah, I was actually talking about that with Dalton, and Dalton's like, I should check that one out.
Yeah.
Because, holy crap, I like that meta shit.
Yeah. Also, anyone who might say, hey, spoilers, the game's over 20 years old, deal with it.
Yeah, pretty much. Get over it. Star Ocean is a 20-plus year franchise. If you haven't played them now,
odds are you're not going to, yeah.
Same for like Wild Arms. It's like it's over 20 years old. If I spoil parts of Wild Arms or something else, if you haven't played it by now, you probably never were going to in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah. The only times that something changes like that is like with Blake, the Blake from Westtown HD. Yeah. He had never played Resident Evil before.
Oh, yeah.
And
I saw the clip. I saw what you did to him. I was like, you're a dirty bastard.
The whole thing is, I ended up getting almost the entire franchise on sale.
Yeah.
And I already had some of them. So it's thinking of, okay, 4, 5, 6, here you go. And I said, all right, have fun.
Yeah, but you trolled him. You tricked him.
Yes, I did.
You tricked him into shooting the water. You're not supposed to do that. Even I knew that.
Well, he would have thought to do it otherwise, and there was an achievement for it.
Yeah, I guess that's a fair point. It's an achievement, but not one that you normally would want. It's like it's a death that's avoidable.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, how often do we get to pull that on somebody who's going through blind on those games?
It's a fair point.
I couldn't not do it to him.
If you weren't going to do it, someone was probably going to do it to him anyway.
Yeah.
Potentially. So, good on you. You got him. You got him good. You know.
The thing is, after Resident Evil 4, he go ahead.
He didn't see it coming. That's for sure.
No, he didn't. And now he's addicted to the franchise. So,
well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yep, Resident Evil is fun. I like Resident Evil 4. 5 is okay. I beat 5.
Yeah.
With a friend.
Yeah. 6 is actually okay if you play in multiplayer. 6 is okay if you play in multiplayer, though.
Yep. Also, screw Wesker and screw the boulder.
Yeah.
Punching
Yeah.
boulders! I'm like, seriously? I know Chris is jacked in this, but seriously? You expect me to punch a boulder? What the frick?
I mean, now if it was a shoulder ram would have mmade more sense. Just push, come on. But
yeah, that would make sense. But punching it? It's like, is he Captain America or something? Because
yeah.
otherwise, this isn't logical. No one can do this shit. Not even Chris. I don't
Yeah.
care how many steroids he takes. That ain't happening. That boulder weighs at least probably at least over 1,000 pounds.
Yeah. Though for me with the RE franchises, think of stuff like that. I think it's hilarious, but at the same time, I go, you know what? It's also a series with giant monsters and viruses that don't exist.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to turn off my brain and run with it.
Yeah, it's okay when you think of it in that context. It's like it's fictional. Yeah. This franchise gave up being a realistic horror game a long time ago.
Yeah, we had Resident Evil 1, and then this thing of, okay, you want realism? Nope, that's gone.
Nope, we're going to move into monster territory and crazy shenanigans and action set pieces that are very odd and for a horror franchise don't make a whole lot of sense, but we're going to do it anyway because it's awesome to look at.
Yep, and let's not forget, the most intimidating soundtrack for a long time was Stars.
I remember watching my brother play Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, and he's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh crap, 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 no, 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 no! It's like, no, get away. I remember that actually genuinely terrified him when Nemesis showed up. He's like, oh, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean,
run!
The main thing that told me they weren't playing around was the one dirty trick they played on you in that game, which is, oh, it's a save room. I'm okay. But it's the one save room that Nemesis can actually break into.
They got you good on that one.
Yeah, I sound like Homer Simpson when I screamed at that point in time.
Yep. Oh, there's one more DS game that I have here.
Ooh, yes.
Ruin Factory. This is probably my favorite of the Harvest Moon type games. Because I kind of like that whole kind of fantasy setting and dungeon crawling. It's a lot of fun. First game is janky as hell, though. But
yeah, but it's still fun. And oh, hey Jake, how you doing? Oh, and
hi Jake.
And apparently Jonah says Final Fantasy Battle Royale.
You mean Dissidia?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
What's up, Jake? How are you? Hey, Nickers. Oh, you dirty bastard.
Well, bye, Jake. I'm going to Top Chat now.
No, none of that bullshit. Okay? That's not allowed.
Yeah, it took me a while to register it as well.
Yeah, it normally does. You seriously? Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, when it's a term you don't really use, you don't register it when someone is actually saying it.
Have we learned nothing from PewDiePie?
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. Yeah. Could we be a little bit more mature? I would ask my mods to deal with this. But
I'll deal with it because I'm a mod.
That's true, you are.
And
get rid of it.
It is gone. It is now gone.
I apologize, Jake, but that type of language and behavior is not allowed on my channel. I may be willing to allow people to speak freely, but that type of stuff I will not tolerate. I am sorry, but that's just how it is.
All right, I deleted it. I can't see it on Top Chat, but apparently it's still there for some people.
Oh, great. Wunderbar.
And John says he has the Gundam Banhammer ready.
Well, I think Rabbit beat you to the punch, Joan, but, thanks for looking out. I appreciate it. I didn't even realize what was happening, but...
Yeah. This is why we can't have nice things.
Why would you want to sour my chat, bro? Come on. I like my chat, okay? I love my chat. They are my friends. I shouldn't have to explain that type of
Just that type of stuff just isn't allowed. It's not cool.
no, it's not.
Okay, now it's saying message deleted. There we go.
Thank you. Oh, Joan deleted it.
Okay.
Okay. I thought you had deleted it.
Yeah, I went to delete it as well. Maybe it just got reposted or something like that.
Yeah, well, thanks to both Rabbit and Joan for handling the situation. Because screw that noise.
Agreed. Agreed.
I actually have rules and regulations, so it's also the same reason why I don't just let anybody be a mod on the channel either. It's like I don't want people to just allow anything to fly. I want to make sure that whoever is a mod understands that when I tell you to prevent that type of shit, it's prevented. Because I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, most certainly.
I think you banned him. Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe that's what you did, Rob. You banned him. You didn't. You didn't just delete the post.
I just clicked on delete message, and it asked why. So.
Yeah.
So maybe YouTube itself banned him then, because I just clicked on delete message.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But anywho, that aside, let's get back to what we were initially doing.
Rune Factory.
Rune Factory. How many of them have you played?
I have played a bit of the first one. I didn't ever get to finish it, but I loved it so much. I love the classic Harvest Moon style gameplay mixed in with dungeon crawling. That's just so good.
That's really fun. Yeah, I have 1, 2, and 3. And there was one for the PS3 that I have.
Did you play the one on the Wii?
Yes, I have that one too. I'm an obsessive Harvest Moon collector, if you didn't know.
I actually didn't.
Yeah, I actually love Harvest Moon games, surprisingly. That was something that I didn't think I would enjoy, but I think I played one I can't remember. I think it was for the Nintendo 64 or one of the older consoles. I can't remember. Or maybe it was for the PlayStation. I played it once. I ended up falling in love with it. And then eventually, over time, as I found out more about the series, I just bought a bunch of them and tried them out.
Yeah.
Which one is my favorite one, though? Of the actual classic Harvest Moon games. I think it was Harvest Moon, It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes, that's the one that I actually was going to say too, because that's the one I started with.
Yeah. I like that one the most. I haven't played a lot of the newer ones, unfortunately. And when Rune Factory came out, Rune Factory was the ones that I ended up playing the most.
Yeah. As soon as Rune Factory comes out, it's like Harvest Moon. What's that?
Harvest Moon, don't know what that is. Yeah, I remember the one for the Wii. Did not like the controls sometimes. The controls were kind of wonky.
Well, that was sort of the Wii in a nutshell.
Yeah, pretty much. And that kind of soured me a bit for the game. Although I do remember that I don't remember beating all of the dungeons. But what I do remember doing is getting married. And normally in most of the Harvest Moon games, that's normally my goal anyway, is to just get married and have a kid maybe. And that's normally the end of it.
Yeah.
After that, I'm done. I'm like, there's nothing else to really go for here.
Yeah, unless you're playing A Wonderful Life. Then you go a couple more years, the kid grows up, and you die.
Yeah. Morbid and depressing as that might sound.
It's nature's way.
Yeah. It is the way of nature, But I do love those games. They're just so relaxing and calming.
Yeah.
Guys are slandering my good friend. Do you want to get banned?
It's the same guy. Just going under a different name.
Joan! Rabbit! Report it. Yeah, that's like I said before, not gonna tolerate that shit.
What it's pretty easy to see. Anyone who's actually looking at it will go ahead and go, "Oh, That's what it means after reading it in their head twice.
Yeah. No. That's not gonna happen. Sorry. You've come to the wrong stream. I take my YouTube channel very seriously with its, ethics and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's the reason why I don't act like a total dickhead to everybody and just randomly talk shit about people. I only talk shit about people who when I actually have a general grievance. So
yeah, and even then, normally we try to keep that off camera.
well, that's not entirely true because I have gone off on people before.
Well,
I'm just
that's why I
polite
said.
about it.
That's why I said normally.
Normally, well, the thing is that I'm pretty open and honest when it comes to my feelings about individuals. I'm not gonna, lie. So if I treat you like if I don't like you, not treat you like dog shit because I try not to do that actually. But if I don't like you for one reason or another, like you've rubbed me the wrong way, if I talk to you in public and say, "Shut up, you piece of shit," best believe that I'm going to do it in private too.
Yeah.
It's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's gonna happen. I'm very upfront and honest with people. If I think you're a douchebag, I'm gonna call you a douchebag. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Unless you can prove me wrong, within which case then I will apologize. But
yeah,
this is the internet, and most douchebags are exactly what they are.
12-year-old kids.
That depends. Most of the douchebags that I've had to interact with are adults, surprisingly enough.
Oh, I'm not talking physically.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Don't make me have to ban you too. You're a moderator, man. Gotta have some level of standards.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from a few people that I've had run-ins with, which has been very interesting and also slightly hilarious. Yeah. That's not about them, but everybody who's here in chat probably knows the people who I have issues with. So it's really not that hard to figure out.
Especially people who lie.
And especially people who act like an asshole.
Yeah.
To me or to my friends. And I'm not going to tolerate that bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking of an old song. I'll have to share the link with you later because it's a comedy song.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he starts going off saying, like, if a wife left her husband with 3 kids and no job to run off to Hawaii with some doctor named Bob. Stuff like that.
That sounds like a fun song. But yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty upfront and honest. People know my opinions and thoughts when it comes to people like Yellow Flash or Tug or other individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, it isn't even that I actually hate them as individuals. It's more or less I just hate their behavior.
In other words, what you're saying is you wish they'd chill.
Yeah, pretty much. Don't insult me. Don't talk shit about me, or don't talk shit about friends of mine. If you disagree with them, fine. Disagree. Go right ahead. They're adults. They can handle it.
Mm-hmm.
But don't be an asshole and don't try and start fights with them. Because then I'm going to jump in and then I'm going to tell you to go find the nearest hole and fall into it. Or something to that nature. Because that's what happened with Yellow Flash.
You told him to inhale your Richard?
No, I did not. I actually, surprisingly enough, aside from maybe taking a few little light pot shots at him, I was actually a lot more reserved. I didn't give him any type of ammunition that he can use, aside from the fact that I misspelled real estate. That's the only thing he has that he could get me on. Oh, that and just the fact that his audience are a bunch of idiots, too, on top of that. I know that I probably shouldn't say this, but, well, actually, I said it out loud and in public because people were really stupid. that one time when he shared an entire comic book with the entire internet that was
Ooh, that's
stolen.
technically piracy. Oh, and on top of being stolen. Okay, yeah.
It's piracy. It's against Twitter's terms of service because you can't share that type of shit out in public, and that's exactly what he did. And when people started calling him out on his bullshit, he actually backed off and actually deleted it. I'm like, well, if you would have, I don't know, read Twitter's terms of service, or at the very least should have known better.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to do this in private, where people didn't know you were doing it, that's one thing. But you did it out in public, out in the open.
Yeah, because if it's in private, that's essentially the same as sitting down with a buddy and reading a comic together.
Yeah.
As long as he bought it, but he's still,
I'm pretty positive he didn't buy it because the comic book was shit. I'm pretty sure he just stole it. Or he found somewhere that had it, somebody gave it to him or something as a torrented file or whatever, and he was trying to share it so that people could roast it. It's like, okay, if you want to roast the book, go right ahead. No problems here. Roasting is part of YouTube. It's part of social media. You're free to do that. Have fun with it. But don't blatantly omit to the fact that you're basically pirating it and you're stealing it and you're literally broadcasting that you're doing it.
Yeah, that's sort of like those thieves that go ahead. Have you ever heard about this one thief where they were robbing a bank, and then because a camera said "smile, you're on camera," they went, "Oh, wait a minute," took off their mask, looked up at the camera, and smiled.
That's what we call a dumb criminal, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, dumb criminals who willingly omit to have caused the crime.
Speaking of dumb criminals, I have a story to tell you that'll also derail so that you don't end up ranting on this, because I know it's something that's still in my mind, stuff like that. But
it's fine. I don't mind talking about it. People know about it. I've, in a sense, buried the hatchet for the most part. I don't agree with the behavior and the tactics, and I don't think we'll ever be friends. But unless he wants to come at me again for some random bullshit reason, I don't care.
Okay, let's just live and let live. I hear you.
Yep, pretty much. Unless he comes at me or comes at a friend again, I have no beef.
Yeah.
These are open comments. He knows what he's said to me, and he's a goddamn idiot. That's my personal take on the matter.
Well, anyhow, here's the thing I was going to tell you, though, because talking about stupid criminals, have I ever told you about the time where, okay, this guy breaks out of prison, and this guy, he was in prison because he constantly stole things, just kleptomaniac. Well, he broke out, and he wanted to go get the latest trend, which was those shoes that light up when you step down. He goes to the store, holds it up, holding his shiv in his one hand, takes the shoes, puts them on, and he leaves. This is in the middle of the night. Think about it. He put on the shoes, they light up, it's in the middle of the night. The police copters don't even have the spotlight on. They can just follow him because the shoes are lighting up as he's running and running and running.
Oh, my God.
He keeps on going, running as fast as he can. The cops keep on heading him off. He turns, and he keeps running. Eventually, he finds a fence that's really tall and barbed wired. He says, I can do this. He goes, jumps, climbs up, scratches himself up, just going through the barbed wire. He lands on the other side. He landed back in prison. At that point, I say let him keep the shoes, honestly.
Yeah, pretty much. That's actually really hilarious. This is very funny. Yeah, I've gotten enough stupidity. Actually, when I talk, because here's the thing. If it was just on his feed where he was doing this and sharing it, I wouldn't have had an issue with it, and probably no one else would have had an issue with it. Here's the funny thing. He tagged in Switchpoint, Douglas Ernst, Captain Frugal, and probably a few others. I can't remember, but those are the three I remember. And he was. Well, I don't remember Frugal actually even saying anything about it because he may not have been on Twitter that day or something. And probably by the time that happened, I don't know. Maybe he wasn't included. The only ones I remember responding was Switchpoint and Doug. and they both told him the same exact thing. It's wrong. It's bad enough you're stealing it. Don't broadcast it. And they also pretty much told him like, no, we're not going to play the same game as you. Basically, it's like, we don't approve of this. Do what you want, but we're not going to get involved. And I said, dude, why the hell are you committing a crime? Out in public, no less. Why are you doing that?
And over something as, not nearly as important as, roasting a comic book. It's the thing of, why do it over something that minuscule?
Yeah, it's a minor crime. It's not like he's, hurting anybody. But
yeah,
I mean, aside from stealing revenue from a comic book creator that you don't like, Yeah.
And technically the store too, because the store actually buys it from the creators, and then the store has to make their money back, so they hurt the store owner.
Yeah, and it was so stupid. It was just like the most minuscule of things. And I said, dude, you've committed a crime and you've broadcasted that you're doing it. It's so stupid. It's ridiculous. And one of his followers, I kid you not, said, it's like, he's not murdering anybody. It's not that bad. It's like, I didn't say that he murdered anyone. I didn't say that he committed a felony. I said he broke a law. That's it. He committed a minor crime, and he's stupid for doing it. That's it. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
And also, him trying to start shit with people is really stupid.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous it's one thing if you disagree and you just want to have a discussion about your disagreements, and maybe you won't get along with the person after the fact, whatever. Mm-hmm. It's another thing to basically try and call someone out to try and get them to get on a live stream with you and talk shit about them. And I'm like, this is the most juvenile shit I've ever seen. Why the hell are you calling out England team? And this was like when I didn't have my computer or anything at the time, and I was gone for that weekend. I come back, and I see him talking shit about England team, and I ask England team, what the hell is going on? And he's like, oh, he's been trying to start shit with me and a bunch of others and you. And I'm like, what the freaking hell did I do? Aside from calling out his bullshit once, what the hell did I do? Wait, no, second time I had done that, because I actually did a live stream complaining about his blacklist bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, aside from me basically joining the party of people saying, dude, what the hell are you doing? Stop being stupid. Aside from those things, he should not have taken too much offense. But I guess the fact that people dogpiled him pissed him off so much that he started targeting people and embracing the more chaotic nature of call-out culture. Yeah, call-out culture, basically. And,
because that's really what the internet is anymore.
Yep. So pretty much, and he didn't have any form of tact or any form of, understanding that I was joking. Because when I said, it's like, wow, apparently England team is now has free real estate in your brain because you won't let it go. And that was actually really funny. And that was me just joking about it. And then he went off on me more than once. And I'm all like, wow.
He needs a hobby.
You need to chill, dude. You need to take a drink, get some booze, do whatever it is you need to do. Sing Kumbaya, whatever. Chill the hell out. And mocking my appearance, which everybody can see here, or mocking my love of certain forms of entertainment. That's not going to affect me as much as you think. Calling me fat and looking weird on your live stream and taking shots at the fact that I love Gundam and whatnot, that's not going to do anything. If anything, it makes you look like a douchebag.
Yeah, it really does.
And I had only seen the stream for like a brief moment because I tried to bury the hatchet with him, basically. I was like, dude, what is your problem with me? What did I do wrong? And then he basically just went off on me, talked shit. And he's like, I'm talking shit about you right now on a live stream. I'm like, why? It's like, don't you realize that would be digging yourself a bigger hole?
Yeah.
And he's like, nope. Doesn't affect me at all. And funny thing is, though, every time when I talk about him,
Mm-hmm.
or I talk about
Something
anybody.
they
Huh?
pop back up.
Well, they don't normally pop back up. Actually, he hasn't talked to me or bothered me for a while, mainly probably because his beef with Englentine is pretty much done and over with, and Englentine's moved on. And I pretty much have too. I only mention him in passing, but the point that I normally try to make is I didn't start the fight.
Mm.
He did. You target friends, you talk shit about people, and apparently talk shit about me behind my back. And every time when I do this on a stream, when I talk about this type of topic,
Mhm.
just in passing or whatever, it's out there. It's in the open. Everybody knows about it. Everybody sees it. I don't delete my live streams unless somebody requested me to do so.
Yeah.
And I've only ever had to do that once.
Yeah.
Aside from that,
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, I feel you on that because there have been a couple times where I've actually had to delete a few things, not from YouTube, but from the Twitters, which honestly, who cares? It's Twitter. But yeah, it's just simple things that people went through and flagged as, oh, this is bad. I'm thinking, this is me joking about, oh, hey, let's go ahead and look over here. Not going to deal with that.
yeah, it's joking. It's being sarcastic or being snarky. Me making fun of him for over obsessing about Englentine for several days was me just saying, "Yeah, I'm joking with you, dude. It's not that serious."
Yeah.
I'm doing it out of basically an obligation to protect my friend who you're talking shit about and slandering and saying all sorts of bullshit about, and trying to get him to engage in a conversation that I knew full well would be the worst possible option for him. Because it was on what was I think the channel's name was the Kill Stream, or whatever the case was. It was one of those internet blood sport type channels, and aside from the channel got banned. Even though it got banned at the same time when it was actually fundraising charity, which I thought was kind of stupid and very weird. But that type of environment is disgusting to me. That is not constructive. It's not healthy. It's not worth a damn, really. At least in my own personal opinion, it's not worth. But unfortunately, it gets views, it gets attention, it gets the clicks, and and people want to see people fight and cause drama. And unfortunately, and the sad reality is, this is kind of the world we live in.
Oh, thing is, it's not even the world. It's just the U.S. The U.S. is bored. That's why they're looking for drama.
That could be true to an extent. Yeah, it's pretty much. Yep, we're bored. Give us entertain us. Entertain us.
Yep.
Are you not entertained?
Though on that though, dude, I am actually going to have. Sadly, I'm going to have to bounce from the stream because I seeing some messages over on this side with my phone here that, yeah, I gotta go deal with the landlord. So.
Oh, scheisse.
Yeah, here's hoping it's something good.
Yeah.
Wish me luck, and above all else, wish me sense.
I wish you much sense, live long and prosper, and all that jazz. Good luck, man.
Peace, buddy.
Peace. Hello, Omnitron. How you doing? I derailed the conversation. I was going to talk about Trails of Cold Steel, but I've been going for like 3 hours, and I don't think that's an appropriate time to talk about it, really. Except for go play these games. You finally got into JoJo. That is awesome. That's pretty freaking cool. I have not gotten into JoJo, so I don't know if I ever will. Who knows? Maybe someday. In case it wasn't obvious. Well, it's pretty obvious when you're saying JoJo in chat. Actually, there is something that I kind of had. I think I mentioned it when I was on Lord Nurgle's stream, but I I think I want to also kind of address it in person a bit. It's on Tubi for free. I don't know what Tubi is. Never heard of it. But hold on a second. Got to do this thing. Got to do a thing. Okay. I'm checking on a previous video, so you'll excuse me. Wow, it just keeps on. The dislike ratio just keeps on growing. Okay. Where's the? There's a screen share. I'm going to share this with you guys for a bit because I wanted to cover it for just a brief moment. Not because I feel obligated to, but I kind of wanted to address it a little bit before I close out tonight. And it's about this video I did about I Stand with Vic and picking your battles better. And we got some comments from some people, and I kind of wanted to address them a bit. It could be troll comments. I'm not really sure. At least in some cases, it might be troll comments. But pretty much these are the two that I kind of have issue with. This one less so because this is actually a constructive comment, and I appreciate it. The part I disagree with, I think, is if you think Kamea-kan is happy about the arrangement, I think you need to get your head checked. I think they're making business decisions to retain Monica as an asset. But having Monica go off site during the business day means people may miss paid signings, meaning the con and other guests miss out on money. And I see what he's getting at, but it's also up to the consumer whether or not they want to be there or not. You know, you can choose to not go see Monica, which I'm pretty sure a fair amount of people probably chose not to do. Anna is a paladin of virtue, and you know it. Yep, he is. Hey, it's me. But yeah, Vic's a good guy, and I feel bad for him. But I found this very interesting because me calling out, particularly that on Umbrella Guy and Hero Hey, which if you read my description, so if I didn't make it clear in the video, let me say it here. I don't hate that Umbrella Guy or Hero Hey. I just don't like the tactics involved in these fights against Marco Real and other VAs. When you say you have high ground, don't sink to their level and act as bad as them. That was pretty much it. That was the only problem I had. It wasn't really anything bad or negative. It was just my own personal opinion on it. And I think that because of the timing of when I uploaded this video, which was when Tug was getting Child Protective Services called on him, people tended to think that I was attacking him, I guess, or thought I was hurting him in some way, or I was defending the people who were doing it. And I am not. I would never do that because getting his kid involved or doxing or anything of that nature is bad. I don't care who does it. If you've doxed somebody or if you've made it personal to this extent, I don't like it. It's bad. It's horrible behavior, and people need to stop it. It's pretty simple and clear cut. Okay? I had no idea that this was happening until pretty much the day the video went up. And the video was recorded the week prior. So I had no idea that he was dealing with it. And I honestly wasn't trying to, attack Tug or anything like that nature. Okay? I wanted to clear that up a little bit. I have no ill will towards Tug or anybody, like I said earlier. I disagree with behaviors or tactics, but unless you've actually tried to physically hurt somebody, I have no real problem with you. Things of that nature. I don't really care if, and you know what? And if all the people who dislike the video, did it because they were doing it out of some justification of defending Tug. One, that's kind of stupid, but you're free to do what you want. I can't stop you, but still, it's a little weird. I don't quite understand that, but I guess it was important to kind of just address that for a little bit, and because I haven't talked about it in a while, so most people are gone at this point, so probably nobody really cares. Anyway, I think I'm going to end the stream now because I'm getting tired and I need to probably go get something to eat and relax for the rest of the evening. So I hope you guys had a good time streaming, talking about JRPG stuff. I had a lot of fun doing it. Hopefully we'll do it again some other time, and hopefully I can get more people involved. We'll try and plan the next stream. My tactics are to eat nachos and drink crispy Sprite. Totally good tactics. I approve of those tactics. 10 out of 10 tactics, man. 10 out of 10. For those of you guys who are probably wondering, I think that the next live stream that we're probably going to do, I think it's going to be based on the Fate series. I'm going to be doing a stream with that. I'm going to get in touch with everybody in the next couple of days to get them involved. I'm not going to do it last minute. I'm going to try and get a hold of people and see if they can, when they can stream, and if we can manage to get a crew going and have some fun. And we'll talk about the Fate series because that'll be fun. So if you're watching this in the future or if you're here on stream, I hope to see you on that stream. But that said, I am going to go. I hope you guys had a wonderful evening, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.